huge shapes wake beneath the sand. Spirals, hummingbirds, a 120-meter-long snake, coiled like time itself. No roads lead here, only questions. First spotted from the sky in 1927, the Nazca Lines sprawl across Peru's pampa like runway lights for forgotten gods. Archaeologists gasped when radiocarbon tests shoved some glyphs 2 millennia into the past, long before the Inca Empire. German mathematician Maria Reich crawled the blazing plain for decades with tape and compass, charting constellations seemingly burned into Earth instead of night. Today, laser scanning drones slice the dust, revealing new figures. A cat, a warrior, even a gigantic exclamation mark. Each discovery ripping yesterday's textbooks apart. Warning, map, or cosmic signal. The plane hums after sunset, waiting for someone or something to respond. The Nazca Lines are enormous geoglyphs etched into the desert floor of southern Peru. These ancient and mysterious designs cover an area of nearly 450 square kilometers and include various figures such as animals, plants, and geometric shapes. Created by the Nazca culture between 500 BCE and 500 CE, these lines have puzzled researchers for decades due to their massive scale and precise execution. What makes the Nazca Lines truly remarkable is that they are best viewed from high altitudes, despite being created long before the invention of aircraft. The largest figures stretch up to 300 meters across, yet maintain incredible accuracy in their proportions. The dry, windless climate of the Nazca Desert has preserved these delicate designs for over 2,000 years. Theories about the purpose of the Nazca Lines range from astronomical calendars to religious rituals and even alien landing strips. However, most scholars now believe they were created as part of water and fertility rituals, given the arid environment of the region. The lines may have been walked as a form of prayer or offering to the gods, asking for rain and good harvests. The Nazca Lines continue to captivate scientists and visitors alike, serving as a testament to the ingenuity and artistic vision of ancient civilizations. Their creation without modern surveying equipment or aerial guidance remains one of the great achievements of pre-Columbian America, challenging our understanding of ancient technological capabilities. The Nazca Lines are found in southern Peru, specifically in the Nazca Desert, a high plateau that stretches between the towns of Nazca and Palpa. This arid region lies approximately 400 kilometers southeast of Lima, the capital city of Peru. The desert's unique geological and climatic conditions have helped preserve these ancient geoglyphs for over 2,000 years. Covering an area of nearly 450 square kilometers, the Nazca Lines consist of hundreds of geometric shapes, animal figures, and straight lines etched into the desert floor. The dry, windless climate and isolated location of the Nazca Desert have played crucial roles in maintaining these remarkable designs. The lines are shallow trenches in the desert surface, created by removing the reddish pebbles and exposing the lighter-colored ground beneath. This contrast makes the designs visible from the air and nearby hillsides. The Nazca culture, which flourished in this area between 100 BCE and 700 CE, is believed to have created these enigmatic figures. The purpose and meaning of the Nazca Lines continue to intrigue archaeologists and researchers. Theories range from astronomical calendars to religious symbols or even extraterrestrial landing strips. Regardless of their original purpose, these ancient geoglyphs remain one of the most fascinating and mysterious archaeological sites in the world. The Nazca Lines were first brought to the attention of the modern world in 1927 when Peruvian archaeologist Toribio Mejia Gzespe spotted them while hiking through the foothills near the Nazca Desert. However, it was not until the 1940s that they gained widespread recognition, thanks to the work of American historian Paul Kosok. Kosok was studying ancient irrigation systems in Peru when he flew over the Nazca Desert and noticed the intricate lines and figures etched into the landscape. He initially believed these lines were related to astronomy and dubbed them the largest astronomy book in the world. This aerial perspective revealed the true scale and complexity of the Nazca Lines, which are difficult to discern from ground level. Following Kosok's observations, German mathematician and archaeologist Maria Reich dedicated her life to studying and preserving the Nazca Lines. Her work throughout the 1950s and beyond significantly contributed to our understanding of these enigmatic geoglyphs and helped bring them to global attention. The discovery and subsequent study of the Nazca Lines opened up new avenues for archaeological research and sparked intense debate about their purpose and creation. Today, they continue to captivate researchers and tourists alike, offering a window into the ingenuity and cultural practices of ancient Peruvian civilizations. The Nazca Lines cover an expansive area in the arid Peruvian coastal plain. These ancient geoglyphs stretch across approximately 450 square kilometers of desert terrain. To put this into perspective, that is roughly equivalent to the size of 70,000 football fields placed side by side. The scale of the Nazca Lines is truly remarkable, especially considering they were created by the Nazca culture between 500 before Common Era and 500 Common Era. The largest figures within this vast canvas extend for more than 200 meters across the landscape, showcasing the immense effort and precision involved in their creation. What makes the Nazca Lines even more intriguing is that their true scale and intricate designs can only be fully appreciated from an aerial view, a perspective that was not available to their ancient creators. This has led to much speculation about the purpose and methods used to create these enormous geoglyphs, adding to their mystique and archaeological significance. The Nazca Lines stand out among ancient geoglyphs due to their immense scale and remarkable precision. These massive drawings, etched into the arid Peruvian desert, span an area of nearly 450 square kilometers. Unlike many other geoglyphs, the Nazca Lines are so large that they can only be fully appreciated from the air, a vantage point unavailable to their creators. What truly sets the Nazca Lines apart is their incredible diversity and complexity. The desert floor is adorned with over 800 straight lines, 300 geometric figures, and 70 animal and plant designs. These intricate shapes include a hummingbird with a wingspan of 90 meters, a spider stretching 46 meters across, and a monkey with a spiral tail that's 220 meters long. The precision of these designs is astounding, especially considering they were created between 500 BCE and 500 CE. The lines maintain their straightness over distances of several kilometers with very little deviation. This level of accuracy, achieved without modern surveying tools or aerial guidance, continues to baffle researchers. Another unique aspect of the Nazca Lines is their endurance. Thanks to the extremely dry, windless climate of the Nazca Desert, these delicate surface designs have survived for over 2,000 years. This longevity is unparalleled among ancient geoglyphs, allowing modern scholars a rare, well-preserved glimpse into the beliefs and capabilities of an ancient culture. The Nazca Lines, etched into the arid Peruvian desert, comprise hundreds of individual figures, each telling a silent story of ancient human ingenuity. While it is challenging to provide an exact count due to ongoing discoveries and varying interpretations, archaeologists have identified over 800 distinct figures spread across the Nazca Plateau. These geoglyphs range from simple lines and geometric shapes to complex depictions of animals, plants, and mythical creatures. Some of the most famous figures include the hummingbird, the monkey, and the spider, each stretching hundreds of feet across the desert floor. Alongside these iconic images are numerous smaller designs, some barely visible to the naked eye. The sheer number and diversity of these figures continue to astound researchers and visitors alike. From massive trapezoids spanning several kilometers to intricate spirals just a few meters wide, the Nazca Lines represent an astonishing feat of ancient artistry and engineering. Their abundance and variety have fueled decades of scientific study and speculation about their purpose and meaning. As technology advances and new survey methods are employed, it is possible that even more figures will be discovered, adding to the already impressive tally of Nazca geoglyphs. This ongoing process of discovery ensures that the exact count of individual figures remains a dynamic number, subject to change as our understanding of this ancient wonder evolves. The Nazca Lines in southern Peru feature an array of intriguing geoglyphs etched into the desert landscape. Among the most recognizable shapes are several animal figures that have captured the imagination of researchers and visitors alike. The hummingbird is one of the most famous designs, its delicate form stretching over 150 feet across the arid plain. Another well-known figure is the spider, its legs and body clearly visible from above, spanning nearly 200 feet. The monkey is another striking image, with its spiraling tail and outstretched arms covering an area of more than 300 feet. The condor, an important bird in Andean culture, is also prominently featured, its wingspan extending an impressive 440 feet. One of the largest figures is the pelican, measuring over 900 feet in length. Human figures are also present among the Nazca Lines, with the most notable being the so-called astronaut or spaceman. This humanoid figure has a large, rounded head and appears to be waving, leading to much speculation about its meaning. Additionally, there are numerous geometric shapes interspersed among the animal and human figures, including spirals, triangles, and trapezoids. These remarkable geoglyphs, created between 500 before Common Era and 500 Common Era, continue to astound scientists and visitors with their scale, precision, and mysterious purpose. Their endurance over millennia and the skill required to create such massive designs, visible only from above, add to the allure of the Nazca Lines as one of the most enigmatic archaeological sites in the world. The Nazca Lines, etched into the arid Peruvian desert, have endured for nearly 2,000 years due to a combination of unique environmental factors and their method of creation. The region's exceptionally dry climate, with minimal rainfall and wind, has played a crucial role in their preservation. This lack of erosive forces has allowed the lines to remain largely intact over the centuries. The construction technique of the Nazca Lines also contributed to their longevity. The ancient Nazca people created these geoglyphs by removing the top layer of reddish pebbles, exposing the lighter-colored ground beneath. This process resulted in a contrast between the lines and the surrounding desert floor, making them visible from great heights. Furthermore, the composition of the desert soil has aided in the line's preservation. The ground contains high levels of lime, which hardens when exposed to morning dew. This natural process has helped cement the exposed surfaces, making them more resistant to wear over time. The isolation of the Nazca Plateau has also protected these ancient artworks from human interference. For centuries, the lines remained largely undisturbed by human activity, allowing them to persist in their original form until their rediscovery in the modern era. The location of the Nazca Lines in the arid Peruvian desert is crucial to their preservation and discovery. The extreme dryness and stable climate of the Nazca Desert have allowed these ancient geoglyphs to remain largely intact for over 2,000 years. With minimal rainfall and wind, the lines have experienced little erosion, maintaining their sharp, clear outlines across the desert floor. The desert environment also provides an ideal canvas for these massive artworks. The reddish pebbles and rocks that cover the desert surface were easily removed by the ancient Nazca people, revealing the lighter-colored earth beneath. This contrast between the dark surface layer and the lighter subsurface created visible lines that can be seen from high vantage points. Furthermore, the flat, expansive nature of the desert allows the lines to stretch uninterrupted for great distances. Some of the geometric shapes and animal figures span hundreds of meters, a scale that would be difficult to achieve in more varied terrain. This vast, open landscape also contributes to the mystery surrounding the lines, as their full extent and many of the figures are only visible from the air. The desert location has also fueled speculation about the lines' purpose. Some researchers suggest they may have been related to water sources or ancient astronomy, both critical concerns in an arid environment. The Nazca Lines continue to intrigue scientists and visitors alike, their desert home preserving these ancient wonders for modern eyes to study and admire. From ground level, the Nazca Lines in Peru are nearly impossible to discern. Visitors walking among these ancient geoglyphs would see little more than shallow trenches and furrows in the desert floor. The lines themselves, created by removing the top layer of reddish pebbles to reveal the lighter-colored ground beneath, this subtle difference in ground composition is barely noticeable when standing directly on or near the designs. However, the perspective changes dramatically when viewed from the air. As one ascends, the true scale and intricacy of the Nazca Lines become apparent. Enormous figures of animals, plants, and geometric shapes emerge from the desert landscape, stretching across areas as large as 900 feet. From this vantage point, viewers can appreciate the precision and complexity of these ancient works, with clear outlines forming recognizable shapes such as a hummingbird, a monkey, and a spider. The stark contrast between ground-level obscurity and aerial clarity has led to much speculation about the purpose and creation of the Nazca Lines. Some researchers suggest that the ancient Nazca people might have used elevated platforms or nearby hillsides to plan and execute these massive designs. Others propose more fantastical theories involving ancient astronauts or lost technologies. Ultimately, the Nazca Lines serve as a testament to human ingenuity and artistic vision, creating a mystery that spans centuries and continues to captivate our imagination. Their existence challenges our understanding of ancient cultures and their capabilities, reminding us that there is still much to learn about our past. The Nazca were an ancient civilization that flourished in southern Peru between 100 BCE and 800 CE. They inhabited the river valleys of the Rio Grande de Nazca drainage and the Ica Valley, developing a complex society known for its remarkable achievements in art, technology, and engineering. Most famous for creating the enigmatic Nazca Lines, these people etched enormous geoglyphs into the desert floor, depicting various animals, plants, and geometric shapes. These lines, some stretching for miles, have puzzled researchers for decades and continue to be a source of fascination and study. The Nazca were skilled craftsmen, producing intricate ceramics with vibrant colors and complex designs. They also developed sophisticated irrigation systems, constructing underground aqueducts known as puquios to bring water from distant sources to their arid homeland. This engineering feat allowed them to cultivate crops in an otherwise inhospitable environment. Despite their technological advancements, the Nazca civilization eventually declined, likely due to a combination of environmental changes and social upheaval. Their legacy, however, lives on in the mysterious lines they left behind and the insights their culture provides into the ingenuity of ancient Andean civilizations. The Nazca civilization flourished in ancient Peru from around 100 BCE to 800 CE. This remarkable culture developed in the river valleys of the Rio Grande de Nazca drainage and the Ica Valley, situated in the arid coastal plain of southern Peru. The Nazca are best known for creating the enigmatic Nazca Lines, enormous geoglyphs etched into the desert floor. These massive drawings, only fully visible from the air, depict various animals, plants, and geometric shapes. Their purpose remains a subject of debate among archaeologists and historians. During their peak, the Nazca people developed sophisticated irrigation systems, allowing them to cultivate crops in the harsh desert environment. They were skilled craftsmen, producing intricate textiles and colorful ceramics adorned with vibrant designs. The Nazca also built several important ceremonial centers, including Cahuachi, which served as a pilgrimage site and played a crucial role in their religious practices. The decline of the Nazca civilization began around 600 CE, possibly due to environmental changes and resource depletion. By 800 CE, their culture had largely faded, leaving behind a legacy of remarkable achievements that continue to fascinate researchers and visitors alike. The Nazca culture flourished in the coastal regions of southern Peru, stretching along the arid Pacific coast and into the nearby Andean foothills. This ancient civilization occupied an area known as the Nazca Valley and the surrounding river valleys, including Ica and Pisco to the north and Acari to the south. Their territory extended approximately 400 kilometers along the Peruvian coastline, reaching inland for about 50 kilometers. The heart of Nazca influence centered around the Nazca Desert, a harsh and dry environment that posed significant challenges for human habitation. Despite these difficulties, the Nazca people thrived in this region for nearly 1,000 years, from around 200 BCE to 800 CE. They developed sophisticated irrigation systems to harness the waters of Andean rivers, allowing them to cultivate crops in an otherwise inhospitable landscape. The Nazca culture's most famous legacy, the Nazca Lines, can be found on the Nazca Desert Plateau between the towns of Nazca and Palpa. These enormous geoglyphs, only fully visible from the air, span an area of nearly 500 square kilometers. The creation of these lines across such a vast expanse demonstrates the extensive reach and influence of the Nazca people within their geographical domain. Archaeological evidence suggests that the Nazca also had connections with other contemporary cultures in the region, including the Moche to the north and the Tiwanaku to the south. These interactions likely extended their cultural influence beyond their immediate territorial boundaries, contributing to a rich tapestry of ancient Andean civilizations. The Nazca civilization flourished in ancient Peru from around 100 BCE to 800 CE. This pre-Inca culture was renowned for its remarkable achievements in art, technology, and engineering. One of the most striking characteristics of Nazca society was their creation of the famous Nazca Lines. These enormous geoglyphs, etched into the desert floor, depict various animals, plants, and geometric shapes, visible only from the air. These lines continue to intrigue archaeologists and challenge our understanding of ancient surveying and design techniques. The Nazca were also skilled ceramicists, producing polychrome pottery adorned with vibrant colors and intricate designs. Their pottery often featured naturalistic and mythological motifs, providing insights into their religious beliefs and daily life. Additionally, the Nazca developed sophisticated irrigation systems, constructing underground aqueducts known as puquios to bring water from distant sources to their arid homeland. Nazca society was likely hierarchical, with a ruling elite overseeing religious and political affairs. Their economy was based on agriculture, with crops such as cotton, beans, and maize sustaining the population. The Nazca's ability to thrive in a harsh desert environment speaks to their ingenuity and adaptability, hallmarks of this fascinating ancient culture. The Nazca civilization, which flourished in ancient Peru from around 100 BCE to 800 CE, demonstrated remarkable technological advancements in several areas, particularly in relation to their famous geoglyphs and hydraulic engineering. Their most notable achievement was the creation of the Nazca Lines, enormous ground drawings etched into the desert landscape. These geoglyphs required sophisticated surveying and engineering skills to create such large-scale, precise designs without the benefit of aerial viewing. The Nazca people developed techniques to remove the top layer of darker rocks to reveal lighter soil beneath, creating lines and figures that have endured for centuries. In terms of hydraulics, the Nazca built an impressive system of underground aqueducts known as puquios. These aqueducts tapped into underground water sources and channeled water to the surface for irrigation and domestic use. This technology allowed the Nazca to thrive in an extremely arid environment, showcasing their advanced understanding of water management. Compared to other contemporary civilizations in the Americas, such as the Moche in northern Peru or the Maya in Mesoamerica, the Nazca were on par in many respects. While they may not have constructed massive stone cities like the Maya, their geoglyphs and hydraulic systems demonstrate a level of engineering and astronomical knowledge that was certainly advanced for their time and region. The Nazca people, who flourished in ancient Peru between 100 BCE and 800 CE, engaged in a variety of economic activities centered around agriculture and trade. Their civilization thrived in the harsh desert environment of the Nazca region through innovative farming techniques and water management systems. Agriculture formed the backbone of Nazca economic life. They cultivated crops such as maize, beans, potatoes, and cotton using an intricate network of underground aqueducts called puquios. These remarkable engineering feats allowed the Nazca to irrigate their fields year-round, even during prolonged dry periods. The Puquios tapped into underground water sources and distributed water across the arid landscape, enabling consistent crop production. Fishing also played a significant role in the Nazca economy, particularly for coastal communities. The rich marine resources of the Pacific Ocean provided a valuable food source and trade commodity. Archaeological evidence suggests the Nazca engaged in both offshore and inshore fishing, harvesting a variety of fish and shellfish. Textile production was another crucial economic activity for the Nazca. They were renowned for their high-quality textiles made from cotton and wool, featuring intricate designs and vibrant colors. These textiles were not only used locally, but also traded with neighboring cultures, serving as valuable exchange items. The Nazca's skill in textile craftsmanship contributed significantly to their economic prosperity and cultural influence in the region. The Nazca people thrived in one of the driest places on Earth, a strip of desert along the coast of Peru. This extreme environment profoundly shaped their culture and way of life. The scarcity of water was a constant challenge, forcing the Nazca to develop innovative irrigation techniques. They created an intricate system of underground aqueducts, known as puquios, to tap into underground water sources and distribute precious water to their crops. The harsh desert conditions also influenced Nazca religious beliefs and artistic expressions. Many scholars believe the famous Nazca Lines, enormous geoglyphs etched into the desert floor, were created as part of water and fertility rituals. These massive designs, only fully visible from the air, often depict animals and plants, reflecting the Nazca's deep connection to their environment and their hopes for agricultural abundance. The limited resources of the desert likely contributed to the development of a highly organized society. The Nazca needed to work together efficiently to survive in such a challenging landscape. This cooperation is evident in their large-scale construction projects, like the puquios and the geoglyphs, which would have required significant communal effort and planning. Furthermore, the dry climate of the Nazca Desert has played a crucial role in preserving archaeological evidence of this ancient culture. Textiles, ceramics, and even human remains have been remarkably well preserved in the arid conditions, allowing modern researchers to gain detailed insights into Nazca life and customs. This preservation has made the Nazca one of the most studied pre-Columbian cultures of South America, despite the challenges their environment presented. The Nazca culture of ancient Peru left behind intriguing evidence of their religious practices, primarily through their monumental geoglyphs and ceramics. The famous Nazca Lines, enormous ground drawings visible from the air, are believed to have had significant religious and ritual importance. These geoglyphs depict various animals, plants, and geometric shapes, possibly representing deities or serving as pathways for religious processions. Archaeologists have uncovered ceremonial sites and plazas near the lines, suggesting they were used for communal gatherings and rituals. The discovery of ceremonial objects, such as panpipes and drums, at these locations further supports their religious significance. Additionally, the Nazca people created elaborate ceramics featuring religious iconography, including depictions of supernatural beings and shamanic transformations. Excavations of Nazca settlements have revealed evidence of ritual offerings, including the remains of sacrificed animals and valuable objects. These findings indicate the practice of religious ceremonies involving offerings to deities or ancestors. The presence of trophy heads in Nazca burials and artwork also points to the existence of complex funerary rites and possibly ritual warfare. The Nazca culture's emphasis on water and fertility, evident in their sophisticated irrigation systems and agricultural practices, likely had religious connotations as well. Many scholars believe that some of the geoglyphs and rituals were associated with water deities and agricultural cycles, reflecting the Nazca people's deep connection to their environment and their religious beliefs. The Nazca civilization, which flourished in the coastal regions of Peru between 100 BCE and 800 CE, experienced a gradual decline rather than a sudden collapse. Several factors contributed to their eventual downfall. Climate change played a significant role in the Nazca decline. Around 500 CE, the region experienced severe droughts, which severely impacted the Nazca agricultural system. The Nazca had developed sophisticated irrigation techniques to sustain their civilization in the arid environment, but prolonged drought conditions overwhelmed even these advanced methods. Social and political factors may have also played a part in the Nazca decline. Some evidence suggests internal conflicts and possibly warfare with neighboring groups. These conflicts, combined with environmental pressures, could have weakened the social structure of the Nazca civilization. By 800 CE, the once thriving Nazca culture had faded, leaving behind their remarkable geoglyphs as a testament to their ingenuity and artistic prowess. The Nazca people, who flourished in ancient Peru between 100 BCE and 800 CE, are renowned for more than just their enigmatic geoglyphs. Their sophisticated civilization made significant advancements in various fields, showcasing their ingenuity and resourcefulness. One of their most impressive achievements was their complex system of underground aqueducts, known as puquillos. These remarkable hydraulic structures allowed the Nazca to bring water from underground aquifers to the surface, enabling agriculture in the arid desert environment. Some of these aqueducts continue to function to this day, testament to the engineering skills of this ancient culture. The Nazca were also skilled artisans, producing exquisite polychrome pottery adorned with intricate designs and vibrant colors. Their ceramics often depicted various aspects of their culture, including religious beliefs and daily life. Additionally, they were accomplished weavers, creating textiles with complex patterns and vivid hues, using techniques that continue to impress modern experts. In the realm of architecture, the Nazca constructed impressive ceremonial centers, such as Cahuachi, which served as a pilgrimage site and administrative center. These structures demonstrate their ability to organize large-scale projects and their deep connection to their spiritual beliefs. The Nazca's achievements in agriculture, engineering, art, and architecture paint a picture of a highly advanced society that thrived in challenging environmental conditions. The Nazca Lines, etched into the arid Peruvian desert, are a testament to ancient human ingenuity and purpose. These enormous geoglyphs were created by the Nazca culture between 500 BCE and 500 CE. The process of their creation was surprisingly straightforward, yet incredibly labor-intensive. The ancient Nazca people began by removing the reddish pebbles that covered the desert surface, exposing the lighter-colored ground beneath. They then used this color contrast to create lines and shapes visible from great heights. The dry, windless climate of the Nazca region has preserved these delicate markings for over 2 millennia. The scale of the Nazca Lines is truly staggering. Some of the figures stretch for hundreds of meters across the desert floor, depicting various animals, plants, and geometric shapes. The largest known geoglyph, a bird, measures 280 meters in length. This immense scale suggests that the Nazca people had some method of viewing their work from above, though the exact means remain a mystery. The purpose of these enigmatic lines has been the subject of much speculation. Theories range from astronomical calendars to alien landing strips. However, most scholars now believe they had a ritual significance, possibly related to water and fertility in the arid desert environment. The creation of the Nazca Lines represents a remarkable feat of ancient engineering and artistic vision, leaving us with an enduring mystery etched into the earth itself. The Nazca people of ancient Peru created their remarkable geoglyphs using surprisingly simple tools and techniques. Their primary implements were wooden stakes and rope, which they used to lay out the basic shapes and lines of their designs. These tools allowed them to maintain straight lines and consistent curves over vast distances. The actual creation of the lines involved removing the dark, reddish pebbles that cover the desert surface to reveal the lighter-colored earth underneath. This process, known as negative geoglyph creation, was accomplished using basic digging sticks and baskets. The Nazca people would carefully scrape away the top layer of stones, creating a stark contrast between the exposed ground and the surrounding untouched areas. One of the most impressive aspects of the Nazca Lines is their scale and precision. To achieve this, the Nazca likely used smaller scale models or drawings as guides. They may have then used a grid system to enlarge these designs onto the desert floor, much like how modern artists might scale up a small sketch. The dry, windless climate of the Nazca Desert has played a crucial role in preserving these ancient artworks for over 2,000 years. The lack of erosion from rain or wind has allowed these shallow lines, often only 4 to 6 inches deep, to remain visible and largely intact to this day, serving as a testament to the ingenuity and skill of the ancient Nazca civilization. The creation of the Nazca Lines in Peru was a monumental undertaking that spanned several centuries. Archaeologists believe the process began around 400 before Common Era and continued until about 650 Common Era. This means the ancient Nazca people worked on these enormous geoglyphs for over 1,000 years. The construction of the Nazca Lines was not a single, continuous project, but rather a cultural tradition passed down through generations. Different figures and lines were likely added over time, with some being maintained or redrawn, while others faded. The dry, windless climate of the Nazca Desert helped preserve these remarkable creations for centuries. Creating these massive designs required careful planning and execution. The Nazca people used simple tools to remove the reddish pebbles covering the desert floor, exposing the lighter-colored ground beneath. This contrast made the lines visible from a distance. Some of the larger figures, such as the hummingbird or the monkey, would have taken considerable time and effort to complete. It is important to note that the Nazca Lines were not created all at once but evolved over time. This long-term commitment to their creation highlights the cultural and possibly religious significance these geoglyphs held for the Nazca civilization. The enduring nature of this project speaks to the remarkable continuity and stability of Nazca culture over many centuries. The lines we observe in the cosmic microwave background were not created instantaneously, but emerged over an extended period during the early stages of our universe. This process began approximately 380,000 years after the Big Bang, during an era known as recombination. As the universe expanded and cooled, the hot plasma of particles that filled space began to settle. Electrons combined with protons to form neutral hydrogen atoms. This transformation allowed light to travel freely through space for the first time, creating the cosmic microwave background we observe today. The patterns and fluctuations we see in this ancient light reflect tiny variations in the density of the early universe. These variations were likely seeded by quantum fluctuations in the first fraction of a second after the Big Bang, and then amplified by the process of cosmic inflation. Over time, these small differences in density grew under the influence of gravity, eventually leading to the formation of galaxies and large-scale structures we see in the universe today. Understanding these lines and patterns is crucial as they provide a wealth of information about the early universe and its evolution. Scientists continue to study the cosmic microwave background, using increasingly sophisticated instruments to uncover new insights into the history and nature of our cosmos. The Nazca people of ancient Peru created their remarkable geoglyphs through a combination of careful planning, skilled execution, and advantageous environmental conditions. These massive ground drawings, some spanning hundreds of meters, were primarily made between 200 BCE and 700 CE. The arid climate of the Nazca Desert played a crucial role in preserving these designs. The ground consists of a layer of light-colored sand and pebbles covering darker, reddish rock underneath. By removing the top layer, the Nazca exposed the contrasting darker ground, creating visible lines and shapes. To achieve their precise geometric forms, the Nazca likely used simple yet effective surveying techniques. They may have employed stakes and ropes to map out straight lines and create perfect circles. Some researchers suggest they might have scaled up smaller drawings using grids, a method seen in other ancient cultures. The Nazca's deep understanding of their landscape allowed them to create designs that have endured for centuries. The lack of wind and rain in the region, combined with a thin layer of morning dew that cements the surface, has helped preserve these remarkable geoglyphs, allowing us to marvel at their precision and scale to this day. The Nazca Lines, etched into the arid Peruvian desert, were created using surprisingly simple materials and techniques. The ancient Nazca people utilized the natural landscape and basic tools to craft these enormous geoglyphs. The primary material used was the desert itself. The lines were formed by removing the reddish pebbles that cover the desert surface, exposing the lighter-colored ground underneath. This contrast between the dark surface rocks and the lighter subsurface created visible lines and shapes when viewed from above. To remove these rocks, the Nazca people likely used simple wooden tools and their hands. They may have employed stakes and rope to plan and outline the designs before clearing the rocks. The dry, stable climate of the Nazca Desert has helped preserve these delicate markings for over 2,000 years. Interestingly, the lines were not carved deeply into the ground. The difference in depth between the cleared areas and the surrounding desert is often only a few inches. This shallow nature of the lines highlights the ingenuity of the Nazca people in creating such enduring and visible designs with minimal alteration to the landscape. The creators of the Nazca Lines employed several ingenious techniques to ensure their enduring visibility. The high desert plateau where these geoglyphs are located experiences very little rainfall and wind, which has significantly contributed to their preservation. The lines were created by removing the top layer of reddish pebbles to expose the lighter-colored ground beneath. This process created a contrast that has remained visible for over 2,000 years. The dry, stable climate of the Nazca region plays a crucial role in maintaining the lines. With minimal erosion from water or wind, the exposed designs have remained largely intact. The lines are also situated in an area with very little human activity, which has protected them from damage or disturbance over the centuries. The depth of the lines, while shallow, is sufficient to create a lasting impression. The creators dug trenches approximately 4 to 6 inches deep, which was enough to reveal the lighter subsoil while being deep enough to withstand some natural weathering. The surrounding stones left in place act as a protective barrier, further shielding the exposed ground from erosion. These factors combined have allowed the Nazca Lines to remain visible for nearly 2 millennia, serving as a testament to the ingenuity and foresight of their ancient creators. Their methods, whether intentional or fortuitous, have resulted in one of the most enduring and mysterious archaeological wonders of the world. In the realm of spacecraft design, engineers have indeed employed a variety of techniques to address the unique challenges posed by different missions and environments. The Apollo program, which aimed to land humans on the moon, required spacecraft capable of withstanding the intense heat of atmospheric re-entry. This led to the development of ablative heat shields, which gradually erode to dissipate heat during re-entry. For missions to the outer solar system, like the Voyager probes, designers focused on creating lightweight, durable spacecraft that could operate for decades with minimal power. These probes use radioisotope thermoelectric generators for power, allowing them to function far from the sun where solar panels would be ineffective. Mars rovers, such as Curiosity and Perseverance, presented their own set of challenges. Engineers developed sophisticated landing systems, including sky cranes, to safely deliver these large, complex machines to the Martian surface. The rovers themselves are equipped with a suite of scientific instruments and robust wheels designed to navigate the rocky Martian terrain. Space telescopes like Hubble and James Webb required entirely different approaches. These instruments demand extreme stability and precision to capture clear images of distant cosmic objects. Engineers developed advanced mirror technologies and sophisticated cooling systems to ensure these telescopes can perform their delicate observations without interference from their own heat or minute vibrations. The Nazca people of ancient Peru created their massive geoglyphs through a combination of careful planning and ingenious techniques. These enormous designs, some stretching over 900 feet long, were crafted between 500 BCE and 500 CE. The dry, windless climate of the Nazca Desert helped preserve these remarkable works for centuries. To create their large-scale designs, the Nazca likely began with smaller models. Archaeologists believe they used a grid system to scale up their plans, much like modern artists enlarging a sketch. They may have used stakes and ropes to outline the full-size designs on the desert floor, ensuring accuracy over vast distances. The actual creation process was surprisingly simple yet effective. The Nazca removed the top layer of reddish pebbles from the desert surface, revealing the lighter-colored ground beneath. This contrast made the designs visible from nearby hills and, as we now know, from the air. The removed rocks were piled along the edges of the cleared areas, further defining the lines and shapes. What remains puzzling is how the Nazca achieved such precision without the ability to see their work from above. Some researchers suggest they might have used elevated platforms or nearby hillsides to gain a better vantage point. Others propose that their understanding of geometry and surveying techniques was more advanced than previously thought, allowing them to create these massive, accurate designs from ground level. Archaeological studies of the Nazca Lines have revealed some fascinating insights into their creation process. Researchers have uncovered small-scale models and preliminary sketches etched into pottery fragments found near the lines. These miniature versions appear to be planning tools, allowing the ancient Nazca people to experiment with designs before embarking on the monumental task of creating the full-scale geoglyphs. Additionally, archaeologists have identified stake holes and stone markers along the edges of some lines, suggesting a method of plotting and mapping out the designs. These findings indicate a sophisticated level of planning and precision in the construction of the lines. The use of such tools and techniques demonstrates that the creation of the Nazca Lines was not a haphazard process, but rather a well-thought-out and meticulously executed endeavor. Further evidence comes from the discovery of wooden stakes still in place along certain lines. These stakes likely served as guide points, helping the ancient artists maintain straight lines and precise curves over vast distances. The presence of these preparatory elements provides valuable insights into the methodical approach employed by the Nazca people in creating these enormous ground drawings. The Nazca Lines, etched into the desert plains of southern Peru, have puzzled researchers for decades. Several theories attempt to explain their purpose, with archaeological and anthropological evidence supporting different interpretations. One prominent theory suggests the lines were created for astronomical and calendrical purposes. Researchers propose that some of the lines align with celestial bodies, potentially serving as a giant astronomical calendar. This theory posits that the ancient Nazca people used these alignments to track seasons and plan agricultural activities. Another widely discussed theory is that the lines had religious or ritual significance. Some scholars believe the geoglyphs were meant to be seen by the gods from above, serving as offerings or messages. This interpretation ties into the spiritual beliefs of the Nazca culture, suggesting the lines were part of ceremonial practices related to water and fertility in the arid region. A more recent hypothesis proposes that the lines were related to water sources. This theory suggests that the geoglyphs might have been used in rituals to pray for water or to mark the locations of underground water sources. Given the desert environment, this explanation connects the lines to the critical issue of water management in ancient Nazca society. The Nazca Lines, etched into the desert landscape of southern Peru, have long fascinated archaeologists and astronomers alike. While their primary purpose remains a subject of debate, some researchers have proposed that these ancient geoglyphs might have served an astronomical function. One theory suggests that certain lines and figures align with celestial bodies or events. For instance, some of the lines appear to point towards the rising and setting positions of the sun at specific times of the year, such as the solstices. This alignment could have helped the Nazca people track seasonal changes, crucial for agricultural planning in the harsh desert environment. Another hypothesis proposes that some of the animal figures in the Nazca Lines correspond to constellations. The spider geoglyph, for example, has been linked to the constellation Orion by some researchers. However, it is important to note that these connections are often speculative and not universally accepted by the scientific community. While the astronomical function of the Nazca Lines remains a compelling possibility, it is likely that these remarkable creations served multiple purposes, including religious, cultural, and possibly astronomical ones. The true extent of their celestial connections continues to be a subject of ongoing research and debate among scholars. Ancient cultures often saw deep connections between celestial objects and their spiritual beliefs. The Nazca Lines, massive geoglyphs etched into the desert floor of southern Peru, likely played significant roles in religious and spiritual practices of the Nazca people. These enormous drawings, only fully visible from the air, may have served as pathways for deities or as giant astronomical calendars. Some researchers believe the lines were used in pilgrimage, with people walking along them as part of sacred rituals. The act of traversing these immense designs could have been seen as a way to connect with the gods or ancestors. Others suggest the lines might have been used in rainmaking ceremonies, particularly important in the arid Nazca region. The shapes and patterns of the lines often correspond to constellations or other celestial phenomena, indicating a possible link to ancient astronomical observations. This connection between Earth and sky could have been central to the Nazca worldview, with the lines serving as a means to communicate with cosmic forces or predict important seasonal changes. While the exact purposes remain a subject of ongoing study, it's clear the Nazca Lines held profound spiritual significance. Their creation and use likely involved complex rituals, demonstrating the deep integration of spiritual beliefs, astronomical knowledge, and artistic expression in ancient Nazca culture. The Nazca Lines in Peru have long fascinated researchers, and the question of their purpose remains a subject of debate. While there is no definitive evidence that the lines served as a form of communication in the traditional sense, some theories suggest they may have been a means of conveying messages to the gods or celestial beings. Archaeologists and anthropologists have proposed that the lines could have been used in religious rituals or ceremonies, possibly as a way to communicate with deities. The immense scale of the geoglyphs, visible only from great heights, has led some to speculate that they were intended to be seen from the sky, perhaps by gods or spirits. Another interpretation suggests that the lines might have been a form of cultural communication, serving as markers for pilgrimage routes or sacred sites. In this context, they could have conveyed information about the landscape and its spiritual significance to those who understood their meaning. However, it is important to note that these ideas remain speculative. The true purpose and any potential communicative function of the Nazca Lines continue to be subjects of ongoing research and scholarly discussion. The Nazca Lines, those enormous geoglyphs etched into the desert floor of southern Peru, have long captivated researchers and the public alike. While their purpose remains a subject of debate, the idea that they were created solely for aesthetic reasons is considered unlikely by most scholars. These intricate designs, some spanning several kilometers in length, required significant effort and planning to construct. The level of precision and scale involved suggests a more complex purpose than mere decoration. Many archaeologists believe the lines had religious or astronomical significance, possibly serving as pathways for spiritual rituals or as a giant celestial calendar. The harsh desert environment where the Nazca Lines are located also argues against a purely aesthetic function. With limited vantage points to view the entire designs from the ground, their visual impact would have been minimal to the Nazca people who created them. This suggests that their purpose was likely tied to beliefs or practices that extended beyond visual appreciation. However, we cannot entirely discount the aesthetic element. The skill and artistry displayed in these geoglyphs indicate that visual appeal may have played a role, even if it was not the primary purpose. The Nazca Lines likely served multiple functions, combining ritual, astronomical, and possibly aesthetic elements in a complex cultural expression that continues to intrigue us today. The Nazca Lines, etched into the arid Peruvian desert, have long fascinated researchers and enthusiasts alike. These enormous geoglyphs, some stretching hundreds of meters across, depict various shapes and figures that are closely tied to Nazca mythology and worldview. Many of the figures represent animals that held great significance in Nazca culture. The hummingbird, for instance, was seen as a messenger between the earthly realm and the spirit world. The spider, another prominent figure, was associated with rain and fertility, crucial elements in the harsh desert environment. Anthropomorphic figures in the Nazca Lines often depict deities or important mythological beings. The so-called astronaut figure, with its large eyes and strange head shape, might represent a sky god or an ancestral being believed to watch over the Nazca people. These figures likely played a role in religious ceremonies and rituals. Geometric shapes, such as spirals and trapezoids, are also prevalent among the Nazca Lines. While their exact meanings remain debated, some researchers suggest they might represent cosmic concepts or serve as markers for astronomical events. These shapes could have been used in conjunction with the figurative images to create a complex mythological landscape, serving both practical and spiritual purposes for the ancient Nazca civilization. The Nazca Lines in Peru have long fascinated archaeologists and researchers who have proposed various theories about their purpose and use. While there is no definitive evidence that the lines were used as pathways or for processions, some studies suggest this possibility. Researchers have observed that many of the lines are wide enough to accommodate groups of people walking side by side. This feature has led some experts to hypothesize that the lines could have been used for ceremonial processions or pilgrimages. The straight lines, in particular, could have served as routes between important sites or settlements. Archaeological surveys have uncovered remains of ceramic vessels and other artifacts along some of the lines, indicating human activity in these areas. This evidence supports the idea that people may have traveled along or gathered near the lines for various purposes, potentially including religious or cultural ceremonies. However, it is important to note that the exact purpose of the Nazca Lines remains a subject of ongoing debate and research. While the procession theory is intriguing, other explanations, such as astronomical alignments or water-related rituals, have also been proposed. Further archaeological and anthropological studies are needed to fully understand the significance and use of these ancient geoglyphs. The Nazca Lines, etched into the arid Peruvian desert, have long puzzled archaeologists and inspired various theories about their purpose. While many associate these geoglyphs with ancient astronauts or religious rituals, some researchers have proposed a more practical function related to agriculture. One theory suggests that the Nazca Lines might have been used as markers for underground water sources. The Nazca region is extremely dry, receiving very little rainfall. However, beneath the surface, there are underground aquifers fed by water from the Andes Mountains. The lines and figures could have indicated the locations of these vital water sources, guiding ancient farmers to areas where they could dig wells or access water for irrigation. Another agricultural hypothesis proposes that the lines served as a vast astronomical calendar. By aligning certain geoglyphs with celestial bodies, the Nazca people might have used the lines to track seasons and determine optimal planting and harvesting times. This would have been crucial for maximizing crop yields in the challenging desert environment. However, it is important to note that while these agricultural theories are intriguing, they remain speculative. The true purpose of the Nazca Lines likely involved a complex mix of cultural, religious, and practical functions, which continue to be debated and studied by archaeologists and historians today. The creation of the Nazca Lines likely played a significant role in unifying Nazca society through shared cultural and religious practices. These massive geoglyphs, etched into the desert floor of southern Peru, required extensive planning, coordination, and labor to construct. This collective effort would have brought together various groups within Nazca society, fostering a sense of common purpose and shared identity. The process of creating these lines would have involved numerous individuals working together over extended periods. This collaborative effort could have strengthened social bonds and reinforced the hierarchical structure of Nazca society, with leaders organizing and directing the work. The shared experience of participating in such a monumental task would have created a strong sense of community and accomplishment among the Nazca people. Furthermore, the Nazca Lines likely held deep religious or ceremonial significance. The act of creating and maintaining these geoglyphs would have been a unifying spiritual experience for the Nazca people. Regular rituals or ceremonies associated with the lines would have brought the community together, reinforcing their shared beliefs and values. The lines also served as a visible reminder of the Nazca culture's achievements and beliefs, visible across vast stretches of the desert. This shared cultural heritage would have helped maintain a sense of unity and continuity within Nazca society, even as it evolved over time. The creation and maintenance of the Nazca Lines thus likely played a crucial role in fostering social cohesion and a distinct Nazca identity. The animal shapes used for constellations don't hold any inherent scientific significance. Ancient cultures around the world created these patterns as a way to remember and identify different star groupings in the night sky. The shapes chosen often reflected the mythology, folklore, and important animals or figures in their societies. For instance, many constellations visible from the northern hemisphere were named by ancient Greeks and Romans. They saw their gods, heroes, and mythical creatures in these star patterns. The constellation Ursa Major, or Great Bear, was associated with various bear myths across different cultures. Interestingly, different cultures often saw entirely different shapes in the same star patterns. Where the Greeks saw a bear, some Native American tribes saw a bowl or a wagon. This diversity of interpretation highlights the cultural and imaginative nature of constellation naming. It's important to note that these animal shapes are purely human constructs. The stars that make up these constellations are not physically related or close to each other in space. They only appear to form patterns from our perspective on Earth. Astronomers today use these traditional names and shapes as a convenient way to divide and refer to different areas of the night sky, regardless of their mythological origins. The Nazca Lines, etched into the arid Peruvian desert, have long fascinated archaeologists and astronomers alike. These ancient geoglyphs, some stretching for miles, display a remarkable connection to the night sky. Several of the lines and figures appear to align with celestial bodies and events, suggesting that the Nazca people possessed a sophisticated understanding of astronomy. One of the most notable alignments is between certain lines and the rising and setting points of the sun during solstices and equinoxes. This correlation indicates that the Nazca Lines might have served as a vast astronomical calendar, helping the ancient civilization track seasons and plan agricultural activities. Additionally, some researchers have identified potential alignments with bright stars and constellations that were significant to pre-Columbian cultures. The spider figure, one of the most recognizable Nazca geoglyphs, has been linked to the constellation Orion. Some experts propose that the lines radiating from the spider's body might represent the stars of Orion's belt. Similarly, the monkey figure has been associated with the Big Dipper, with its spiraling tail potentially symbolizing the movement of this constellation across the night sky. While these celestial connections are intriguing, it is important to note that not all archaeologists agree on the extent of astronomical alignments in the Nazca Lines. The debate continues, with ongoing research seeking to unravel the full significance of these enigmatic desert markings and their relationship to the cosmos above. The Nazca Lines, etched into the arid Peruvian desert, have long fascinated researchers with their massive scale and mysterious origins. Among the various geoglyphs, several designs appear to correlate with celestial constellations visible in the night sky. One of the most notable is a figure that bears a striking resemblance to the constellation Orion. This design features an arrangement of lines and shapes that mirror the distinctive pattern of stars forming the Hunter's Belt and surrounding stars. Another intriguing design seems to depict the Pleiades star cluster, also known as the Seven Sisters. Some researchers have also identified patterns that could represent other constellations, such as Cygnus the Swan and Virgo the Maiden. However, it is important to note that these interpretations are subject to debate among scholars, as the exact intentions of the Nazca people remain unclear. The presence of these potential celestial representations suggests that the ancient Nazca civilization may have possessed a sophisticated understanding of astronomy. This knowledge could have played a crucial role in their agricultural practices, religious beliefs, and overall cultural development. The Nazca Lines, etched into the arid Peruvian desert, have long fascinated researchers and sparked numerous theories about their purpose. One intriguing hypothesis suggests that these enormous geoglyphs might have served as an ancient astronomical calendar. This idea stems from the observation that some of the lines appear to align with celestial events, such as solstices and equinoxes. Proponents of this theory argue that the ancient Nazca people could have used these lines to track the movements of celestial bodies and mark important dates in their agricultural and religious calendars. For instance, certain lines seem to point towards the rising or setting positions of specific stars at particular times of the year. This alignment could have helped the Nazca determine when to plant crops or perform rituals. However, it is important to note that while this theory is compelling, it remains controversial among archaeologists and astronomers. Critics point out that not all lines show clear astronomical alignments, and the vast scale of the geoglyphs would have made them difficult to use practically as a calendar. Additionally, the Nazca people likely had other, more straightforward methods of tracking time and seasons. Despite the ongoing debate, the possibility of an astronomical function for the Nazca Lines continues to captivate researchers. It underscores the sophisticated knowledge and skills of ancient civilizations, reminding us that our ancestors were keen observers of the night sky and sought to understand their place in the cosmos. Ancient civilizations observed the night sky with great attention, using celestial objects as markers for important events in their lives. The lines of the Nazca Desert in Peru, enormous geoglyphs etched into the arid landscape, may have served a similar purpose. These massive drawings, visible from nearby hilltops, could have acted as a celestial calendar, helping the Nazca people predict seasonal changes crucial for agriculture and religious ceremonies. As the sun, moon, and stars moved across the sky throughout the year, their positions would align with specific lines or figures on the desert floor. By tracking these alignments, the Nazca might have anticipated the arrival of the rainy season, optimal planting times, or the approach of important festivals. This method of timekeeping would have been particularly valuable in a region where rainfall is scarce and unpredictable. Some researchers suggest that certain lines might have pointed to the rising or setting points of specific stars or constellations. These stellar alignments could have marked the beginning or end of agricultural seasons, guiding farmers in their planting and harvesting cycles. Additionally, the lines might have helped predict the arrival of El Niño weather patterns, which significantly impact the region's climate and agricultural productivity. While the exact purpose of the Nazca Lines remains a subject of ongoing research and debate, their potential use as a tool for predicting seasonal changes highlights the ingenuity and astronomical knowledge of ancient cultures. These remarkable geoglyphs serve as a testament to the deep connection between human societies and the celestial realm, a relationship that has shaped civilizations throughout history. The Nazca Lines, those enigmatic geoglyphs etched into the Peruvian desert, have long fascinated researchers and the public alike. While many theories have been proposed about their purpose and meaning, the idea of solar or lunar alignments among the lines is particularly intriguing. Studies have indeed found some evidence of astronomical alignments in the Nazca Lines. Certain lines and figures appear to point towards the rising and setting points of the sun at specific times of the year, such as the solstices. For instance, the famous spider geoglyph has been associated with the constellation Orion, while some straight lines seem to align with the winter solstice sunrise. However, it is important to note that not all researchers agree on the extent or significance of these alignments. Some argue that given the vast number of lines and figures, some alignments might occur by chance rather than deliberate design. Others suggest that while some astronomical alignments exist, they may have been just one aspect of the line's purpose, rather than their primary function. The debate surrounding the Nazca Lines' astronomical connections continues, highlighting the complex nature of these ancient wonders. As research progresses, we may gain more insights into how the creators of the Nazca Lines might have incorporated celestial observations into their monumental earthworks. The Nazca people of ancient Peru created massive geoglyphs and lines in the desert, which have long fascinated archaeologists and astronomers alike. These intricate designs, visible only from the air, have sparked theories about their connection to astronomical observations and religious beliefs. Some researchers suggest that certain Nazca lines align with celestial bodies, potentially serving as a vast astronomical calendar. This idea proposes that the Nazca used these alignments to track seasons, predict weather patterns, and plan agricultural activities. Such knowledge would have been crucial for survival in the harsh desert environment. The religious significance of these alignments becomes apparent when we consider the Nazca worldview. Many ancient cultures, including the Nazca, viewed the sky as the realm of gods and spirits. By creating earthly representations of celestial patterns, the Nazca may have been attempting to communicate with or honor these divine entities. Furthermore, some of the animal figures depicted in the Nazca Lines correspond to constellations recognized by other Andean cultures. This connection between earth and sky reinforces the idea that the Nazca saw their designs as a bridge between the terrestrial and celestial realms, blending their astronomical knowledge with deeply held religious beliefs. The Nazca Lines, those enigmatic geoglyphs etched into the desert floor of southern Peru, have long fascinated archaeologists and astronomers alike. While their exact purpose remains a subject of debate, there is compelling evidence to suggest that some of these ancient designs could indeed have been used for tracking celestial events like equinoxes and solstices. Several of the lines and figures align with significant astronomical points on the horizon, where the sun and certain stars rise or set at key times of the year. For instance, the spider figure appears to point towards the December solstice sunrise. Similarly, some straight lines seem to correspond with the rising and setting points of particular stars that were important in the Nazca calendar. These alignments would have allowed the Nazca people to mark the passage of time and seasons with remarkable accuracy. This knowledge was crucial for agricultural planning in the harsh desert environment. By observing where the sun rose and set in relation to specific lines or figures, they could determine when to plant crops or perform important rituals. However, it is important to note that not all of the Nazca lines appear to have astronomical significance. The geoglyphs likely served multiple purposes within Nazca culture, including religious and social functions. The astronomical alignments, while significant, are just one piece of the complex puzzle that these ancient wonders present to modern researchers. The Nazca lines in Peru have long fascinated researchers, with some proposing they might represent a star map. However, the evidence supporting this idea is limited and controversial. While certain line formations bear resemblance to constellations, these correlations are often subjective and not universally accepted by archaeologists or astronomers. Some proponents argue that specific geoglyphs align with celestial bodies or star patterns as they appeared in the sky when the lines were created. For instance, one theory suggests that the famous spider figure corresponds to the constellation Orion. Another claim is that the monkey design aligns with the Big Dipper. However, these associations are often criticized as cherry-picking or pareidolia, the tendency to see meaningful patterns in random data. Archaeologists and anthropologists generally favor more terrestrial explanations for the Nazca lines. Many experts believe they served ritual or religious purposes related to water and fertility, which were crucial concerns in the arid Nazca region. The lines might have been used as pathways for ceremonial processions or as offerings to the gods. While the star map hypothesis remains intriguing to some, the scientific consensus leans towards earthbound interpretations. The lines continue to be studied, and our understanding of their purpose and creation may evolve with new research methods and technologies. The Nazca people of ancient Peru demonstrated a remarkable understanding of celestial events and astronomical phenomena. Their knowledge, while not as sophisticated as modern astronomy, was notably advanced for their time and culture. The famous Nazca lines, enormous geoglyphs etched into the desert floor, provide compelling evidence of their astronomical expertise. These ancient people accurately tracked the movements of the sun, moon, and certain stars, using this information to create a functional calendar. This calendar was crucial for agricultural purposes, allowing them to predict seasonal changes and optimize their farming practices. The Nazca also aligned some of their lines and geometric shapes with solstices and other significant celestial events, suggesting a deep integration of astronomical knowledge into their culture and daily lives. One of the most intriguing aspects of Nazca astronomy is the apparent correlation between some of their geoglyphs and constellations. Researchers have found that certain animal-shaped lines seem to represent star patterns visible in the night sky, though this interpretation remains a subject of ongoing study and debate among archaeoastronomers. While the full extent of Nazca astronomical knowledge remains a topic of investigation, it is clear that their understanding of celestial movements and cycles was sophisticated enough to influence their monumental artworks, agricultural practices, and possibly their religious or ceremonial activities. This level of astronomical awareness showcases the ingenuity and observational skills of ancient cultures, reminding us that the quest to understand the cosmos has been a fundamental human endeavor throughout history. The Nazca people of ancient Peru shared several astronomical interests with other ancient cultures around the world. Like many early civilizations, the Nazca recognized the importance of celestial bodies for timekeeping, agriculture, and religious practices. They aligned some of their famous geoglyphs with celestial events, a practice also seen in structures built by the ancient Egyptians, Maya, and other cultures. One notable similarity is the emphasis on solstices and equinoxes. The Nazca, like many other ancient peoples, created markers to track these important yearly events. This knowledge was crucial for agricultural planning and religious ceremonies. The attention to these solar turning points is a common thread among diverse cultures, from Stonehenge in England to Chichen Itza in Mexico. The Nazca also showed interest in the Pleiades star cluster, which was significant in their agricultural calendar. This focus on the Pleiades is shared by other South American cultures, as well as by ancient societies in Asia and Europe. The widespread importance of this star cluster across different civilizations highlights the universal human fascination with the night sky. While the specific expressions of astronomical knowledge varied between cultures, the fundamental drive to understand and utilize celestial movements was a common factor. The Nazca, like their contemporaries around the world, demonstrate how early societies developed sophisticated methods to track and interpret the cosmos, integrating this knowledge into their daily lives and belief systems. The Nazca Lines, etched into the arid Peruvian desert, have long puzzled researchers. Recent studies suggest a fascinating connection between these ancient geoglyphs and water sources in the region. The lines and figures might have served as markers, guiding people to valuable water resources in this parched landscape. Archaeologists have discovered that many of the lines lead to underground aquifers and ancient irrigation systems. These hidden water sources, known as puquios, were crucial for survival in the desert environment. The Nazca people likely created these massive designs as a way to map and remember the locations of these life-sustaining water sources. Furthermore, some of the animal figures depicted in the Nazca Lines, such as the hummingbird and the monkey, are not native to the desert region. These creatures are typically found in areas with more abundant water, suggesting that the images might represent a connection to distant water-rich lands or serve as symbols of water itself. This link between the Nazca Lines and water resources offers a practical explanation for their creation, moving beyond purely ritualistic or astronomical interpretations. It highlights the ingenuity of ancient civilizations in adapting to and mapping their challenging environment, using monumental art as a tool for survival. The lines we observe in various ancient landscapes often have intriguing connections to irrigation systems developed by early civilizations. These sophisticated networks of channels and aqueducts were crucial for agricultural success in arid regions. For instance, the Nazca Lines in Peru, while primarily known for their enigmatic geoglyphs, also include an extensive system of underground aqueducts called puquios. These ingenious waterways help the Nazca people cultivate crops in an otherwise inhospitable desert environment. Similarly, in Mesopotamia, the cradle of civilization, intricate canal systems were developed as early as 6,000 years ago. These channels diverted water from the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, transforming the landscape and enabling the growth of complex societies. The remnants of these ancient waterways can still be detected from aerial and satellite imagery, appearing as faint lines crisscrossing the land. In the Americas, the Hohokam culture of present-day Arizona constructed hundreds of miles of canals to irrigate their fields in the Sonoran Desert. These impressive engineering feats, some channels reaching up to 15 feet deep and 50 feet wide, are visible as distinct lines across the landscape. The Hohokam irrigation system supported a thriving agricultural society for over 1,000 years. The connection between visible lines and ancient irrigation systems extends to other parts of the world as well. In China, the Dujiangyan irrigation system, built over 2,000 years ago, still functions today. Its network of channels and dikes, visible from above, has played a crucial role in managing water resources and preventing floods in the Sichuan province for millennia. These examples demonstrate how ancient peoples reshaped their environments, leaving lasting marks that we can still observe and study today. The animal figures in ancient art and mythology often held deep symbolic meaning, including connections to water-related deities. In many cultures, certain animals were closely associated with water and aquatic environments, making them natural representations of water gods and goddesses. For example, in ancient Egyptian mythology, the crocodile god Sobek was linked to the life-giving waters of the Nile River. His fierce nature symbolized the power and danger of water, while his protective aspects represented the Nile's crucial role in sustaining Egyptian civilization. Similarly, the hippopotamus goddess Taweret was associated with the Nile and childbirth, embodying the nurturing and destructive potential of water. In other parts of the world, different animals took on aquatic divine roles. The Aztec god Tlaloc, responsible for rain and fertility, was often depicted with features resembling a jaguar or serpent, animals connected to water in Mesoamerican belief systems. In Hindu tradition, the god Varuna, ruler of the celestial ocean, is sometimes shown riding a makara, a mythical creature combining features of a crocodile, elephant, and fish. These animal representations of water deities served multiple purposes. They made abstract concepts more tangible for worshippers, reflected the importance of specific animals in local ecosystems, and highlighted the vital role of water in sustaining life and shaping the natural world. The ancient Nazca people likely used their famous lines and geoglyphs to map out underground water sources in the arid Peruvian desert. These intricate designs, etched into the earth over 2,000 years ago, may have served as a sophisticated system for locating and managing precious water resources. Researchers have discovered that many of the Nazca Lines correspond closely with the paths of subterranean aquifers and water flows. This suggests the lines could have acted as a large-scale map, guiding the Nazca to hidden water sources beneath the parched landscape. The straight lines might have indicated the direction of underground water channels, while the animal and geometric shapes could have marked the locations of aquifers or areas where the water table was closer to the surface. This theory is supported by the discovery of puquios, an ancient system of spiral-shaped wells that tap into underground water sources. These puquios are often found near or at the convergence points of multiple Nazca lines, further strengthening the connection between the geoglyphs and water management. By using the lines as a water map, the Nazca people could have efficiently located and accessed vital water resources in their harsh desert environment. This ingenious system would have allowed them to thrive in an area that might otherwise have been uninhabitable, showcasing the remarkable ingenuity of this ancient civilization. The theory of lines as indicators of water resources on Mars has gained significant support from various observations and studies. Orbital imagery has revealed a network of dark, narrow streaks that appear on Martian slopes during warmer seasons and fade in cooler periods. These features, known as recurring slope lineae, have intrigued scientists as potential signs of flowing water. Spectral analysis of these lines has detected the presence of hydrated salts, which strongly suggests the involvement of liquid water in their formation. The seasonal nature of these lines, appearing when temperatures rise above the freezing point of water, further supports this hypothesis. Additionally, the lines tend to follow the path of steepest descent, behaving much like water would under the influence of gravity. Ground-based observations from Mars rovers have also contributed to this theory. The Curiosity rover has found evidence of ancient stream beds and mineral deposits typically associated with water environments. While the rover has not directly observed flowing water, its findings support the idea that Mars once had significant surface water and that some of this water might still exist in limited quantities today. However, it is important to note that the exact nature and origin of these lines remain subjects of ongoing research and debate within the scientific community. Alternative explanations, such as dry avalanches or the involvement of carbon dioxide frost, are also being considered. The quest to fully understand these intriguing Martian features continues, driving further exploration and study of the red planet. The Nazca Lines, etched into the arid Peruvian desert, have long puzzled archaeologists and historians. Agricultural theories offer intriguing explanations for these enigmatic geoglyphs. One prominent idea suggests that the lines served as sophisticated irrigation systems, guiding water from distant mountains to the parched plains below. This theory posits that the ancient Nazca people created these intricate designs to channel and distribute precious water resources across their arid homeland. Another agricultural interpretation proposes that the lines functioned as a vast astronomical calendar. According to this view, the Nazca people used the geoglyphs to track celestial movements and predict seasonal changes crucial for planting and harvesting crops. The lines could have helped farmers determine the best times for agricultural activities, ensuring optimal yields in a challenging environment. Some researchers argue that the Nazca Lines played a role in ritual practices related to water and fertility. In this context, the geoglyphs might have been used in ceremonies to appeal to the gods for rain and bountiful harvests. The sheer scale of the lines suggests they were meant to be seen from above, perhaps by deities who could influence agricultural success. While these agricultural theories offer compelling explanations, it is important to note that the true purpose of the Nazca Lines remains a subject of ongoing debate and research. The complex nature of these ancient wonders continues to inspire new hypotheses and investigations, reminding us of the ingenuity and mystery of past civilizations. The Nazca Lines, those enigmatic geoglyphs etched into the Peruvian desert, have long puzzled archaeologists and researchers. While the idea of using these massive designs to demarcate different crop-growing areas is an interesting hypothesis, it does not align with the current scientific understanding of their purpose. The Nazca Plateau, where these lines are found, is an extremely arid region that receives very little rainfall. This environment is not conducive to large-scale agriculture, making it unlikely that the lines were used to separate different crop fields. Moreover, the sheer scale of the designs, with some figures stretching over several hundred meters, would be impractical for agricultural demarcation. Archaeological evidence suggests that the Nazca people did practice some agriculture, but this was primarily concentrated in river valleys and relied heavily on sophisticated irrigation systems. The lines, however, are located on the dry plateau between these fertile areas. Current theories propose that the Nazca Lines had ritual or astronomical significance. Some researchers believe they were created as offerings to the gods or as part of water worship ceremonies. Others suggest they may have been used to track celestial movements or as a giant astronomical calendar. While the exact purpose remains a subject of ongoing study, the agricultural demarcation theory is not widely supported by the available evidence. The creation of the Nazca Lines likely had minimal impact on soil quality in the region. These ancient geoglyphs were formed by removing the top layer of reddish pebbles to reveal the lighter-colored ground beneath. This process, known as negative geoglyph creation, involved scraping away only a shallow layer of surface material. The arid climate of the Nazca Desert has helped preserve these lines for centuries. The lack of rainfall and vegetation growth in the area means that soil development and erosion have been extremely slow. As a result, the removal of the top layer for the lines probably did not significantly alter the underlying soil structure or composition. However, the creation of the lines may have had some localized effects. The exposed lighter soil in the designs could potentially be more susceptible to wind erosion over time. Additionally, The slight change in surface texture might affect how water is absorbed or runs off during the rare instances of rainfall in the region. It is worth noting that the Nazca people were skilled agriculturalists who developed sophisticated irrigation systems in the nearby valleys. Their understanding of the local environment suggests they would have been mindful of any potential impacts on soil quality when creating these massive geoglyphs. Examining the Earth's surface reveals fascinating connections between geological features and past climate conditions. Line patterns visible on landscapes often reflect historical rainfall patterns, offering a glimpse into our planet's ancient weather systems. These patterns, etched into the terrain over thousands or even millions of years, serve as a record of how water has shaped the land. In arid regions, we find striking examples of this correlation. The distinctive parallel ridges and valleys known as yardangs are sculpted by wind-driven sand and occasional rainfall. Their orientation and spacing can indicate prevailing wind directions and the intensity of past precipitation events. Similarly, in deserts, the arrangement of dunes and interdune areas can reflect long-term patterns of moisture availability and wind regimes. Moving to more humid environments, we observe different but equally telling line patterns. River systems and their tributaries create dendritic patterns that spread across the landscape like the branches of a tree. The density and complexity of these drainage networks often correlate with historical rainfall amounts. Areas with higher past rainfall typically display more intricate and closely spaced river systems compared to drier regions. Even on a smaller scale, the spacing and depth of erosion gullies on hillsides can indicate past rainfall intensity. Closely spaced, deep gullies suggest periods of intense rainfall, while more widely spaced, shallower features might point to gentler, more evenly distributed precipitation over time. These line patterns, visible from both ground level and satellite imagery, provide valuable clues about Earth's climatic history, helping scientists reconstruct past environments and understand long-term climate trends. Throughout human history, water and agriculture have played crucial roles in shaping civilizations and religious beliefs. Many ancient cultures developed creation myths and religious practices closely tied to water sources and agricultural cycles. In Mesopotamia, for example, the fertile land between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers was seen as a divine gift, influencing religious texts and rituals. Agricultural theories and religious interpretations often intersect in the concept of fertility. Many religions feature deities associated with crops, harvest, and abundance. These gods and goddesses were believed to control the natural cycles that determined agricultural success, leading to the development of specific rituals and offerings to ensure bountiful harvests. Water, as a life-giving force, holds significant symbolism in numerous religions. Purification rituals involving water are common across many faiths, from baptism in Christianity to ablutions in Islam. These practices reflect the universal understanding of water as a cleansing and renewing element, both physically and spiritually. Modern agricultural science and water management techniques have challenged some traditional religious interpretations. However, many religious communities have adapted their beliefs to incorporate scientific understanding while maintaining the spiritual significance of water and agriculture. This intersection continues to evolve, influencing environmental stewardship and sustainable farming practices in many parts of the world. The Nazca Lines, etched into the arid Peruvian desert, played a significant role in Nazca religious practices and cosmology. These enormous geoglyphs, some stretching over 1,000 feet in length, were created between 500 BCE and 500 CE by the ancient Nazca civilization. Archaeologists and anthropologists believe the Nazca Lines were intimately connected to water and fertility rituals. In the harsh desert environment, water was a precious resource, and the Nazca people likely used these massive designs as a way to communicate with their deities, pleading for rain and abundant crops. Many of the lines form animal shapes, such as hummingbirds, spiders, and monkeys, which may have represented powerful spirit animals in Nazca mythology. These animal figures could have been used in shamanistic practices, with priests or spiritual leaders walking along the lines as part of elaborate ceremonies to invoke the gods or gain spiritual insights. Some researchers suggest that the lines also had astronomical significance, aligning with celestial bodies and serving as a giant calendar. This cosmic connection further emphasizes the deep spiritual importance of the Nazca Lines, linking the earthly realm with the heavens in the Nazca worldview. The lines thus served as a physical manifestation of Nazca religious beliefs, uniting their understanding of the natural world with their spiritual practices. The lines at Nazca, etched into the desert floor of Peru, have long fascinated archaeologists and historians. Their purpose remains a subject of debate, but the idea of ritual processions is indeed one of the leading theories. These ancient geoglyphs, some stretching for kilometers, form intricate patterns and recognizable shapes when viewed from above. The scale and precision of the Nazca Lines suggest they held great significance for their creators. Many scholars believe these lines could have served as pathways for ceremonial walks, allowing people to trace the shapes of animals, plants, and geometric designs as part of religious or cultural rituals. This theory aligns with practices observed in other ancient cultures where processions played a crucial role in spiritual and social life. Evidence supporting this idea includes the discovery of small stone pillars at some of the line's intersections, which might have marked important points along the route. Additionally, the lines often lead to or from sacred sites, further suggesting their use in religious activities. Some researchers propose that walking these paths could have been a form of prayer or offering to the gods, particularly those associated with water and fertility, which were crucial concerns in the arid Nazca region. However, it's important to note that the ritual procession theory is just one of several explanations for the Nazca Lines. Other hypotheses include astronomical alignments, water-finding tools, or even alien involvement, though the latter lacks scientific support. The true purpose of these enigmatic desert drawings may involve a combination of factors, reflecting the complex beliefs and practices of the ancient Nazca people. The animal figures etched into the Nazca desert landscape likely held deep spiritual significance for the ancient Nazca people. These massive geoglyphs, visible only from the air, depict a variety of creatures including monkeys, hummingbirds, spiders, and lizards. Archaeologists and anthropologists believe these animal representations were closely tied to Nazca religious beliefs and cosmology. Many experts suggest that the animal figures served as symbols of powerful deities or spiritual forces in Nazca culture. The hummingbird, for instance, might have represented a god of fertility and agriculture, given its role in pollination. The spider could have been associated with rain and water, crucial elements in the arid Nazca environment. Monkeys, not native to the region, possibly symbolized exotic trade goods or connections to distant jungle areas. Some researchers propose that the Nazca lines and figures were used in religious ceremonies, possibly as pathways for ritual processions. The act of creating and maintaining these enormous designs may have been a form of worship or offering to the gods. The scale of the figures, only fully visible from above, hints at a belief in deities that could observe from the heavens. It is also possible that the Nazca people saw these animal figures as intermediaries between the human and spirit worlds. In many ancient cultures, animals were believed to possess special powers or connections to the divine. The Nazca may have created these immense animal images as a way to communicate with or invoke the aid of their gods, using the familiar forms of creatures they observed in their environment. There is no conclusive evidence of sacrificial practices directly associated with the Nazca lines in Peru. Archaeological studies have not uncovered any remains or artifacts that would definitively link the lines to ritualistic sacrifices. The purpose of these enormous geoglyphs remains a subject of ongoing debate and research among scholars. The Nazca culture, which created these lines between 500 and 2,000 years ago, did engage in various religious practices. However, the lines themselves appear to have served different functions. Some researchers suggest they were used for astronomical observations or as part of water-related rituals, given the arid environment of the Nazca desert. Recent studies have proposed that the lines might have been pathways for pilgrimage or ceremonial processions, This theory aligns with the idea that the Nazca people viewed the act of creating and walking these lines as a form of worship or devotion to their deities, rather than sites for sacrificial offerings. While sacrificial practices were common in many ancient cultures of the Americas, the Nazca Lines seem to represent a unique form of large-scale landscape art and engineering. Their true purpose continues to intrigue archaeologists and historians, driving ongoing investigations into this remarkable cultural legacy. The Nazca Lines are deeply intertwined with ancient Andean religious traditions and cosmology. These enormous geoglyphs etched into the desert floor of southern Peru reflect the complex spiritual beliefs and practices of the Nazca culture, which flourished between 100 BC and 800 AD. The lines and figures, some stretching for kilometers, align closely with Andean concepts of sacred landscapes and celestial worship. Many archaeologists believe the Nazca Lines served as ritual pathways, with people walking along these massive designs as part of ceremonial processions. This practice echoes broader Andean traditions of pilgrimage and reverence for the land. Celestial connections are also evident in the Nazca Lines, mirroring the importance of astronomical observation in Andean cultures. Some figures appear to align with solstices or other celestial events, suggesting they played a role in timekeeping and agricultural cycles. This astronomical function ties into the widespread Andean practice of using the sky as a cosmic calendar to guide planting and harvesting. The animal and plant motifs depicted in the Nazca Lines, such as hummingbirds, monkeys, and trees, likely represent important symbols in Nazca mythology and religious iconography. These images may have been offerings to the gods, or representations of spirit animals, concepts that are found throughout Andean spiritual traditions. The sheer scale of the lines also speaks to the Andean belief in the power of collective labor as a form of worship and community bonding. The creation of ancient lines and geoglyphs, such as the Nazca Lines in Peru, could indeed have been a form of worship or religious practice. Many archaeologists and anthropologists believe these massive ground drawings served spiritual or ceremonial purposes for the cultures that created them. Ancient societies often viewed the act of creation itself as a sacred endeavor. The process of planning, designing, and meticulously executing these enormous patterns on the landscape might have been considered a devotional act, connecting the people to their deities or the cosmos. Some theories suggest that these lines were meant to be seen by the gods from above, serving as a form of communication or offering. The sheer scale of many geoglyphs, visible in their entirety only from great heights, supports this idea. The effort and precision required to create such large-scale artworks also implies a deep significance beyond mere decoration. Furthermore, the act of walking these lines might have been part of religious rituals or pilgrimages. The patterns could have represented sacred pathways, allowing people to trace the steps of their gods or ancestors in a physical and spiritual journey. This combination of creation and use would have imbued the lines with ongoing religious importance, making them both the product and the focus of worship. The ancient lines etched across landscapes, such as those found in the Nazca Desert of Peru, likely played significant roles in shamanic rituals and practices. These geoglyphs, some stretching for miles, could have served as pathways for spiritual journeys. Shamans might have walked these lines during trance states, using the patterns as a form of moving meditation to connect with the spirit world. These enormous ground drawings often depicted animals and mythical creatures, suggesting they were imbued with sacred meaning. Shamans possibly used these figures as focal points for their ceremonies, calling upon the power of the entities represented. The act of creating and maintaining these lines could have been a ritual in itself, with the physical labor serving as a form of devotion and spiritual practice. Some researchers propose that the lines were used in astronomical observations, which would align with shamanic practices of seeking wisdom from celestial bodies. Shamans might have used specific points along the lines to track the movements of stars and planets, timing their rituals to cosmic events. This connection between earth and sky would have reinforced the shaman's role as an intermediary between the physical and spiritual realms. The scale of these geoglyphs also suggests they were meant to be seen from above, perhaps by the gods or spirits the shamans sought to contact. This idea of creating art visible only from a divine perspective could have been a powerful element in shamanic rituals, demonstrating the shaman's ability to transcend ordinary human perception and communicate with higher powers. The Nazca Lines, etched into the arid Peruvian desert, have long fascinated archaeologists and astronomers alike. While their exact purpose remains a mystery, many researchers believe the Nazca people imbued these geoglyphs with profound cosmic significance. Some scholars suggest that the lines may have served as an enormous astronomical calendar, with certain figures aligning with celestial events, such as solstices or the rising of particular stars. This theory posits that the Nazca used their creation to track time and predict important seasonal changes, crucial for agricultural planning in their challenging desert environment. Others propose that the lines were meant to communicate with the gods, essentially forming a massive cosmic map visible from the heavens. In this interpretation, the Nazca may have believed that deities looking down from the sky would see and respond to their elaborate designs, perhaps bestowing blessings or vital resources like water. Interestingly, some of the animal figures depicted in the Nazca Lines correspond to constellations recognized by ancient Andean cultures. This connection has led to speculation that the lines might represent a ground-based reflection of the night sky, serving as a tool for preserving astronomical knowledge and passing it down through generations. The Nazca Lines share similarities with ancient religious symbols found across the globe, yet they stand out due to their immense scale and unique creation method. Unlike many religious symbols carved into stone or painted on walls, the Nazca Lines were etched into the desert floor, visible only from great heights. In terms of geometric patterns, the Nazca Lines bear resemblance to mandala designs found in Hindu and Buddhist traditions. These intricate circular patterns represent the cosmos in miniature and serve as aids for meditation. However, the Nazca Lines dwarf mandalas in size and complexity, stretching across kilometers of desert terrain. The animal and humanoid figures in the Nazca Lines echo petroglyphs and cave paintings found worldwide, from European Paleolithic art to Aboriginal rock art in Australia. Yet, the Nazca figures are distinctive in their massive scale and precision, created through the removal of desert rocks to reveal lighter soil beneath. Some researchers have drawn parallels between the Nazca Lines and ancient star maps or celestial calendars, similar to structures like Stonehenge in England or the pyramids of Egypt. While these connections remain speculative, they highlight the universal human tendency to create large-scale monuments aligned with celestial bodies, possibly for religious or astronomical purposes. The ancient Nazca Lines, etched into the desert floor of southern Peru, have long fascinated researchers and sparked numerous theories about their purpose. While some have suggested that these geoglyphs might have been a form of communication with the gods, this idea remains speculative and lacks substantial scientific evidence. Archaeologists and anthropologists generally agree that the Nazca Lines held significant cultural and religious importance for the Nazca people who created them. However, their exact purpose is still debated. Some scholars propose that the lines were used in rituals related to water and fertility, which were crucial concerns in the arid Nazca region. Others suggest that the lines might have been used for astronomical observations or as a vast calendar. These theories are based on the alignment of some figures with celestial bodies and seasonal events. However, the idea of direct communication with deities is not widely supported by the archaeological community. It is important to note that our understanding of ancient cultures and their beliefs is often limited by the available evidence. While the Nazca Lines continue to inspire wonder and speculation, their true purpose remains a subject of ongoing research and debate among experts in the field. Ancient astronaut theorists propose several intriguing claims about the Nazca Lines, the enormous geoglyphs etched into the desert of southern Peru. They suggest these massive drawings, only fully visible from the air, served as landing strips or navigational markers for extraterrestrial spacecraft. This theory posits that ancient humans could not have created such precise and large-scale designs without advanced technology or aerial guidance. These theorists also argue that some of the Nazca figures depict alien beings or their technology. They point to stylized humanoid figures with large eyes and odd-shaped heads as potential representations of extraterrestrial visitors. Additionally, they interpret certain geometric shapes and lines as depictions of advanced machinery or star maps. Another claim focuses on the purpose of the lines. Some ancient astronaut proponents suggest the Nazca people created these geoglyphs as a form of communication with alien beings, possibly to request their return or to express gratitude for shared knowledge. They argue that the sheer scale and complexity of the designs indicate a desire to be seen from great heights or even from space. While these theories capture the imagination, it is important to note that mainstream archaeologists and scientists have found no evidence to support such claims. They attribute the creation and purpose of the Nazca Lines to the indigenous cultures of ancient Peru, explaining their construction through careful surveying techniques and their significance in relation to local religious and cultural practices. The Nazca Lines in Peru have long captivated the imagination of researchers and the public alike, sparking numerous theories about their origins and purpose. Over the decades, alien-related explanations for these ancient geoglyphs have undergone significant changes. In the 1960s, author Erich von Däniken popularized the idea that the Nazca Lines were created by extraterrestrial visitors. He suggested that the lines served as runways for alien spacecraft, pointing to their vast scale and precise geometry as evidence of otherworldly intervention. This theory gained traction in popular culture, fueling public fascination with the possibility of ancient alien contact. As scientific understanding of the Nazca culture improved, alien theories adapted. Some proponents began to argue that while the lines were made by humans, they were created under the guidance or inspiration of extraterrestrial beings. These evolving theories often incorporated elements of ancient astronaut ideas, suggesting that aliens shared advanced knowledge with the Nazca people. In recent years, alien theories about the Nazca Lines have become more nuanced, often intertwining with broader speculations about ancient human civilizations. Some now propose that the lines were meant to communicate with extraterrestrial entities rather than serve as landing strips. Others suggest they were created to be visible from space, acting as markers for alien observers. While these theories remain unsupported by scientific evidence, they continue to evolve, reflecting our enduring fascination with the possibility of extraterrestrial intelligence and its potential influence on human history. Proponents of alien theories often point to various pieces of evidence to support their claims. One commonly cited source is unexplained aerial phenomena, including unidentified flying objects reported by military personnel and civilians alike. These sightings, some captured on video or radar, showcase objects moving in ways that seem to defy our current understanding of physics and aerodynamics. Ancient artifacts and structures also feature prominently in alien theories. The precise construction of monuments like the Egyptian pyramids or the massive stone blocks of Pumapunku in Bolivia lead some to speculate about extraterrestrial involvement. Proponents argue that these feats of engineering seem too advanced for the civilizations of their time. Crop circles are another frequently mentioned piece of evidence. These intricate geometric patterns found in fields are sometimes attributed to alien visitations, with supporters claiming their complexity and precision are beyond human capabilities. However, many crop circles have been proven to be human-made. Some theorists also point to alleged government cover-ups and classify documents as evidence of extraterrestrial contact. They argue that the secrecy surrounding certain military bases and projects suggests hidden knowledge about alien life. While intriguing, it is important to note that most scientists do not consider these claims as conclusive evidence of extraterrestrial visitation. Scientists and archaeologists have consistently approached alien theories with skepticism and a commitment to rigorous scientific methods. While popular media often portrays these theories as plausible explanations for ancient mysteries, the academic community has largely dismissed them due to a lack of credible evidence. Archaeologists emphasize that ancient human civilizations were remarkably innovative and capable of impressive feats without extraterrestrial assistance. They point to the gradual development of technologies and building techniques over time, which can be traced through archaeological records. This evolution of human capabilities directly contradicts the sudden, advanced knowledge implied by alien intervention theories. Many scientists view alien theories as a form of pseudoscience that oversimplifies complex historical processes and undermines the achievements of ancient cultures. They argue that these theories often rely on misinterpretations of archaeological evidence or selective use of facts while ignoring contradictory information. Instead, researchers continue to uncover new insights into ancient civilizations through careful excavation, analysis of artifacts, and the application of modern scientific techniques. Despite the scientific consensus, alien theories continue to captivate public imagination. This persistence highlights the ongoing challenge faced by scientists and archaeologists in effectively communicating their findings to the general public and combating misinformation. As a result, many researchers now actively engage in public outreach to promote scientific literacy and showcase the fascinating realities of human history and achievement. Alien theories have significantly influenced public perception of the Nazca Lines, often overshadowing scientific explanations for these ancient geoglyphs in Peru. Since their discovery in 1926, the massive ground drawings have captivated imaginations worldwide, with their precise geometric shapes and animal figures visible only from high altitudes. The idea that extraterrestrial beings created or influenced the Nazca Lines gained traction in the 1960s, popularized by authors like Erich von Däniken. These theories suggested the lines were landing strips for alien spacecraft or communication signals to beings in the sky. Such notions spread rapidly through popular media, books, and television shows, cementing the connection between the Nazca Lines and extraterrestrial life in the public consciousness. This alien-centric view has both positive and negative impacts on public understanding. On one hand, it has drawn global attention to these remarkable archaeological sites, increasing tourism and awareness of ancient Peruvian cultures. However, it has also diverted focus from the actual cultural and historical significance of the Nazca Lines, which were likely created for religious and astronomical purposes by the Nazca people between 500 BCE and 500 CE. The persistent alien narrative has challenged archaeologists and historians to communicate scientific findings more effectively to the public. While many now understand the human origin of the Nazca Lines, the extraterrestrial theory remains a popular alternative explanation, showcasing the enduring appeal of mysterious and otherworldly interpretations of ancient monuments. The Nazca Lines have captured the imagination of science fiction writers and popular media creators for decades. These ancient geoglyphs etched into the desert floor of southern Peru have been featured in numerous works, often with a focus on their mysterious origins and potential extraterrestrial connections. In science fiction literature, the Nazca Lines frequently appear as evidence of ancient alien visitations or as markers for hidden alien technology. Authors have woven tales of spacecraft using the lines as landing strips or navigation guides. Some stories depict the lines as a cosmic map, leading to other worlds or dimensions. Television shows and documentaries have also extensively explored the Nazca Lines, often presenting speculative theories alongside scientific explanations. Programs like Ancient Aliens have popularized the idea that the lines were created with extraterrestrial assistance, suggesting that only advanced technology could have produced such precise and large-scale designs. Hollywood has incorporated the Nazca Lines into blockbuster films, using them as plot devices or backdrops for adventure stories. These portrayals often exaggerate the mystery surrounding the lines, depicting them as conduits for supernatural powers or keys to unlocking ancient secrets. While these fictional accounts are entertaining, they have also contributed to misconceptions about the true nature and purpose of the Nazca Lines, sometimes overshadowing the remarkable human achievement they represent. Documentaries have significantly influenced public perception of the Nazca Lines, often promoting controversial theories about alien involvement. These films have captivated audiences by presenting the ancient geoglyphs as mysterious artifacts beyond human capability, suggesting extraterrestrial intervention. Many documentaries have emphasized the scale and precision of the lines, questioning how ancient civilizations could have created such intricate designs without aerial guidance. These programs frequently feature interviews with proponents of alien theories, giving credence to speculative ideas that lack scientific support. They often downplay or ignore archaeological evidence, explaining the line's creation through traditional surveying methods. By focusing on the most visually striking and puzzling aspects of the Nazca Lines, documentaries have fueled public fascination with alternative explanations. The impact of these documentaries extends beyond entertainment, sometimes overshadowing legitimate archaeological research. They have shaped a popular narrative that connects the Nazca Lines to broader theories about ancient alien visitations. This has led to a disconnect between scientific consensus and public understanding, with many viewers accepting the alien hypothesis as a plausible explanation. While these documentaries have increased general awareness of the Nazca Lines, they have also contributed to the spread of misinformation. This has created challenges for archaeologists and historians working to communicate accurate information about the line's origins and cultural significance to the Nazca people. Alien theories have significantly impacted tourism in the Nazca region of Peru. Since the 1960s, when researcher Erich von Däniken proposed that the famous Nazca Lines were created by extraterrestrial visitors, interest in the area has grown substantially. This controversial theory, while dismissed by mainstream archaeologists, captured the public imagination and drew attention to these ancient geoglyphs. The influx of tourists seeking a glimpse of the purported alien landing strips has brought both benefits and challenges to the region. Local economies have seen a boost from increased visitor numbers, with hotels, restaurants, and tour operators catering to curious travelers. Many tourists now take scenic flights over the Nazca Desert to view the enigmatic lines and figures from above, an experience that has become a staple of Peruvian tourism. However, this surge in popularity has also raised concerns about the preservation of the Nazca Lines. The fragile desert environment is susceptible to damage from foot traffic and vehicle use. Authorities have had to implement strict regulations to protect the site, including limiting access to certain areas and requiring visitors to wear special footwear. Despite the lack of scientific evidence supporting extraterrestrial involvement, the alien narrative continues to draw visitors to Nazca. This phenomenon demonstrates how fringe theories can shape tourism trends and highlights the delicate balance between promoting cultural heritage and protecting ancient sites from the very attention they attract. The Nazca Lines in Peru are frequently associated with other ancient sites in speculative theories about extraterrestrial influences. One such location is the Great Pyramid of Giza in Egypt. Some theorists argue that the precision and scale of the pyramids suggest advanced technology beyond what ancient Egyptians should have possessed. They point to the alignment with celestial bodies and the sophisticated engineering as potential evidence of otherworldly involvement. Another site, often linked to the Nazca Lines, is Stonehenge in England. The massive stone circle has long puzzled researchers, and some propose that its construction required capabilities beyond those of Neolithic humans. The astronomical alignments and the transportation of enormous stones over long distances fuel speculation about extraterrestrial assistance. Machu Picchu, the ancient Incan city in Peru, is also frequently mentioned alongside the Nazca Lines in these theories. Its precise stonework, advanced agricultural terraces, and seemingly impossible construction on a mountaintop lead some to suggest otherworldly influences. Similarly, the massive stone statues of Easter Island are sometimes included in these speculations, with theories proposing that their creation and transportation required external help. While these theories capture the imagination, it is important to note that archaeologists and historians have found compelling evidence for human ingenuity and engineering skills behind these remarkable achievements. The tendency to link these sites in alien theories often overlooks the impressive capabilities of ancient civilizations and their accumulated knowledge over generations. The Nazca Lines in Peru have long been a source of fascination and speculation. Alien theories about their creation share similarities with other pseudo-archaeological claims, often relying on the assumption that ancient civilizations were incapable of such feats without extraterrestrial assistance. These theories typically ignore or dismiss the extensive archaeological evidence and scientific explanations for the Nazca Lines. Researchers have demonstrated that the ancient Nazca people possessed the necessary tools and knowledge to create these geoglyphs using simple surveying techniques. This mirrors how other pseudo-archaeological claims often overlook or misinterpret available evidence in favor of more sensational explanations. Another common thread is the tendency to attribute complex ancient structures or artifacts to alien intervention. This same pattern is seen in claims about the Egyptian pyramids, Stonehenge, and other monumental sites worldwide. Such theories often underestimate the ingenuity and capabilities of ancient human societies, instead proposing unlikely scenarios involving advanced alien technologies. Importantly, these alien theories about the Nazca Lines and other ancient sites lack substantive evidence. They rely heavily on speculation, and often misinterpret or exaggerate certain aspects of the archaeological record. This approach is characteristic of pseudo-archaeology, which fails to adhere to rigorous scientific methods and peer review processes used in legitimate archaeological research. Scientists today employ a range of advanced technologies to unravel the mysteries of the Nazca Lines. Satellite imagery has revolutionized our ability to study these ancient geoglyphs from above, providing detailed views of the entire complex without disturbing the fragile desert surface. This bird's-eye perspective allows researchers to identify previously unknown patterns and analyze the line's layout on a grand scale. Drones equipped with high-resolution cameras now offer an even closer look, capturing intricate details of individual designs. These unmanned aerial vehicles can fly at various altitudes, giving archaeologists unprecedented flexibility in their observations. The images collected by drones are often processed using photogrammetry software, creating three-dimensional models that reveal subtle variations in the desert floor. Light detection and ranging technology, also known as LIDAR, has proven invaluable in uncovering hidden lines obscured by time and natural processes. By firing rapid pulses of laser light at the ground and measuring the reflected signals, LiDAR can detect minute changes in elevation, exposing designs that are invisible to the naked eye. This technology has led to the discovery of numerous new figures, expanding our understanding of the Nazca culture. Ground-penetrating radar is another crucial tool in the archaeologist's arsenal. By sending radio waves into the Earth and analyzing their reflections, researchers can create subsurface maps without excavation. This non-invasive technique helps identify buried structures or anomalies that might be related to the creation and use of the lines, shedding light on the methods and purpose behind these enigmatic designs. Satellite imagery has revolutionized our study of the Nazca Lines, providing unprecedented views and insights into these ancient geoglyphs. High-resolution images from space have allowed archaeologists to identify previously unknown figures and patterns, expanding our catalogue of these mysterious desert etchings. This technology has also enabled researchers to analyze the lines in their broader geographical context, revealing connections between the geoglyphs and ancient pathways, settlements, and water sources. Multispectral imaging techniques have uncovered faint or eroded lines that are invisible to the naked eye, helping to reconstruct the original extent and complexity of the Nazca landscape. Furthermore, satellite data has aided in conservation efforts by monitoring erosion and human encroachment on the fragile desert surface. Time-lapse imagery has allowed scientists to track changes to the lines over decades, informing preservation strategies and highlighting areas in need of protection. Combining satellite imagery with other advanced technologies like drone surveys and machine learning algorithms has led to new theories about the purpose and creation of the lines. This integration of space-based observations with ground-level research is painting a more comprehensive picture of the Nazca culture and its remarkable artistic and engineering achievements. Recent studies of the Nazca Lines in Peru have revealed fascinating new insights into these ancient geoglyphs. Archaeologists using drone technology have discovered over 100 previously unknown figures etched into the desert landscape. These newly found designs include both human and animal forms, adding to the already impressive collection of giant drawings visible from the air. One significant discovery involves the use of advanced artificial intelligence to analyze the patterns and distribution of the lines. This technology has helped researchers identify potential connections between the geoglyphs and ancient water sources, suggesting that the Nazca Lines might have served as a complex map of underground water channels. Scientists have also uncovered evidence that the creation of these enigmatic designs spanned a longer period than previously thought. New dating techniques indicate that some figures may be up to 2,500 years old, while others were created as recently as the 16th century. This extended timeline challenges earlier theories about the purpose and cultural significance of the Nazca Lines. Furthermore, ongoing research has shed light on the methods used to create and maintain these massive earthworks. Experts now believe that the ancient Nazca people employed sophisticated surveying and engineering techniques to ensure the accuracy and longevity of their creations, demonstrating a level of technological skill previously underestimated for this pre-Columbian civilization. Dating techniques have played a crucial role in unraveling the mysteries of the Nazca Lines. Archaeologists have employed various methods to determine when these enigmatic geoglyphs were created. One of the primary techniques used is radiocarbon dating, which analyzes organic materials found in association with the lines. This method has been applied to pottery shards, wooden posts, and other artifacts discovered near the geoglyphs. Another important dating method is optically stimulated luminescence, which measures the last time quartz grains in the soil were exposed to sunlight. This technique has been particularly useful in dating the actual creation of the lines themselves, as it can determine when the stones were moved to form the designs. Researchers have also utilized stratigraphic analysis to study the layers of soil and sediment around the lines. This method helps establish a relative chronology of the geoglyphs and their surrounding environment. By combining these various dating techniques, scientists have concluded that the majority of the Nazca Lines were created between 2,000 and 1,500 years ago during the time of the Nazca culture. These dating methods have not only provided a time frame for the creation of the lines, but have also helped researchers understand the cultural context in which they were made. This information has been crucial in developing theories about the purpose and significance of these remarkable ancient artworks. Geoglyphologists have made significant strides in understanding the creation process of ancient ground drawings. By studying the Nazca Lines in Peru and similar geoglyphs around the world, researchers have uncovered fascinating details about the techniques and tools used by ancient civilizations. One key insight is that many geoglyphs were created using surprisingly simple methods. The artists often began by making small-scale designs on the ground, which were then enlarged using a grid system. This technique allowed for remarkable precision, even when creating massive figures spanning hundreds of meters. Experts have also discovered that the creators of these geoglyphs used basic tools like wooden stakes and rope to outline their designs. They would remove the dark surface rocks to reveal the lighter soil beneath, creating contrast visible from great distances. This process required meticulous planning and execution, demonstrating the advanced capabilities of ancient societies. Furthermore, geoglyphologists have found evidence suggesting that some geoglyphs were created over extended periods, with additions and modifications made over generations. This indicates that these massive artworks held long-lasting cultural significance and were likely tied to religious or astronomical practices that endured through time. Drone technology has revolutionized our ability to study and document the Nazca Lines in Peru. These ancient geoglyphs, etched into the desert floor centuries ago, have long fascinated archaeologists and historians. Traditional methods of studying the Nazca Lines involved aircraft flyovers or viewing from nearby hilltops, which limited the detail and frequency of observations. With the advent of drones, Researchers can now capture high-resolution images and video of the Nazca Lines from much closer vantage points. This allows for more frequent and detailed surveys of the site, revealing intricate patterns and subtle features that were previously difficult to discern. Drones equipped with specialized cameras can also capture multispectral imagery, providing insights into the composition of the soil and helping to identify faint or eroded lines. Moreover, drone technology enables the creation of precise three-dimensional models of the Nazca Lines and surrounding landscape. These models aid in understanding the construction techniques used by the ancient Nazca people and help track changes to the site over time. The ability to conduct regular drone surveys also assists in monitoring and protecting the Nazca Lines from damage caused by natural erosion or human activity. Perhaps most importantly, drone technology has made the study of the Nazca Lines more accessible and less invasive. Researchers can now examine these delicate geoglyphs without the need for physical presence on the ground, reducing the risk of accidental damage to the site. This non-intrusive approach aligns with conservation efforts and respect for the cultural significance of the Nazca Lines, while still advancing our understanding of this ancient wonder. Recent advancements in observational technology have unveiled fascinating new patterns and structures in our universe. One notable discovery is the cosmic web, an intricate network of filaments and voids that connects galaxies across vast distances. This cosmic scaffolding, made visible through advanced computer simulations and observations, reveals the large-scale structure of the universe. Astronomers have also identified enormous ring-like structures called odd radio circles. These mysterious formations, spanning millions of light-years, emit radio waves and are visible only through radio telescopes. Their origin remains a subject of intense study and speculation among scientists. In our own cosmic backyard, researchers have uncovered new details about the Fermi bubbles, enormous structures extending above and below the center of the Milky Way. These massive bubbles, emitting gamma rays and spanning thousands of light-years, are thought to be the result of past activity from our galaxy's central supermassive black hole. The discovery of gravitational waves has opened up an entirely new way of observing the universe. These ripples in space-time, first detected in 2015, have allowed scientists to observe previously invisible cosmic events, such as the merging of black holes and neutron stars, revealing new patterns in the fabric of the cosmos itself. Researchers are employing a variety of methods to safeguard the ancient Nazca Lines in Peru. These mysterious geoglyphs, etched into the desert floor centuries ago, face threats from both natural erosion and human activity. One key approach involves using advanced imaging technology to create detailed maps and three-dimensional models of the lines. This allows scientists to monitor changes over time and detect any new damage quickly. Drones equipped with high-resolution cameras fly over the site regularly, capturing images that are then analyzed for signs of wear or disturbance. On the ground, conservationists are working to stabilize the soil around the lines and prevent further erosion. They use environmentally friendly materials to reinforce areas at risk of degradation. Additionally, strict regulations limit access to the site, with most visitors now viewing the lines from designated platforms or aircraft to minimize foot traffic on the fragile desert surface. Education also plays a crucial role in preservation efforts. Local communities and tourists are taught about the cultural and historical significance of the Nazca Lines, fostering a sense of stewardship. By raising awareness, researchers hope to reduce incidents of vandalism and encourage support for ongoing conservation work, ensuring these ancient wonders endure for future generations to study and admire. Interdisciplinary research is crucial in studying the cosmic web, the vast network of filaments and voids that form the large-scale structure of the universe. This complex phenomenon requires expertise from various scientific fields to fully understand its nature and implications. Astronomers and astrophysicists contribute their knowledge of celestial objects and cosmic processes, while cosmologists provide insights into the universe's overall structure and evolution. Computer scientists and data analysts play a vital role in processing and interpreting the massive amounts of data collected from telescopes and space missions. Physicists, specializing in particle physics and quantum mechanics, help explain the behavior of matter and energy on the smallest scales, which is essential for understanding how the cosmic web formed and evolved. Additionally, mathematicians and statisticians develop models and algorithms to analyze the patterns and distributions of galaxies within the cosmic web. Geologists and planetary scientists also contribute by drawing parallels between the formation of large-scale cosmic structures and the processes that shape planets and other celestial bodies. This collaborative approach allows researchers to gain a more comprehensive understanding of the cosmic web and its significance in the universe's overall structure and evolution. Computer simulations have revolutionized the study of the Nazca Lines, offering researchers powerful tools to analyze and understand these ancient geoglyphs in ways never before possible. By creating detailed digital models of the Nazca desert landscape, scientists can now explore various theories about the line's creation and purpose without disturbing the fragile site. One significant contribution of computer simulations is in reconstructing the original appearance of the Nazca Lines. Over time, erosion and human activity have altered the desert surface, but simulations allow researchers to strip away these changes and visualize the geoglyphs as they might have looked when first created. This has led to the discovery of previously unnoticed patterns and figures, expanding our understanding of the Nazca culture's artistic and engineering capabilities. Simulations have also been crucial in testing theories about the line's astronomical alignments. By modeling the movement of celestial bodies over thousands of years, researchers can determine if specific geoglyphs align with star patterns or solar events at particular times in history. This has provided valuable insights into the potential ritual and calendrical functions of the Nazca Lines. Furthermore, computer models have helped in analyzing the logistics of creating these massive earthworks. By simulating the tools, techniques, and manpower required, researchers have gained a deeper appreciation for the scale of the undertaking and the level of social organization necessary to complete such a monumental project. These insights continue to shape our understanding of Nazca society and its achievements. The Nazca Lines, these ancient geoglyphs etched into the Peruvian desert, face several significant threats to their preservation. Climate change poses a major risk, as increased rainfall in this typically arid region can lead to erosion and flooding, potentially washing away or damaging these delicate designs. The fragile desert surface is also vulnerable to human activity, with unauthorized vehicle access and foot traffic causing irreversible harm to the lines. Urban expansion and industrial development near the Nazca Plains present another challenge. As nearby cities grow, the demand for land and resources increases, putting pressure on the protected areas where the lines are located. This encroachment not only threatens the physical integrity of the geoglyphs, but also disrupts the landscape context that gives them their full archaeological significance. Air pollution from nearby roads and settlements is slowly degrading the lines, as particulate matter settles on the desert floor and obscures the contrast between the dark desert pavement and the lighter lines. Additionally, the growth of tourism, while economically beneficial, brings its own set of preservation challenges. Increased visitor numbers can lead to accidental damage and wear on the site if not carefully managed. Natural processes like wind erosion continue to affect the Nazca Lines, slowly wearing away at the shallow grooves that form the images. While this process has been ongoing for centuries, it underscores the fragility of these remarkable archaeological features and the urgent need for comprehensive conservation efforts to protect them for future generations. The Nazca Lines, ancient geoglyphs etched into the desert floor of southern Peru, have faced growing challenges due to increased tourism in recent decades. As more people flock to see these mysterious designs, the fragile desert environment has come under significant strain. Foot traffic poses one of the biggest threats to the Nazca Lines. Despite efforts to restrict access, some tourists venture off designated viewing areas, inadvertently damaging the delicate lines and figures. The desert's thin top layer, once disturbed, can take years to settle back into place, potentially altering the appearance of the geoglyphs. Air tourism has also impacted the site. While aerial views offer spectacular perspectives of the Nazca Lines, the increase in low-flying aircraft has led to concerns about air pollution and vibrations affecting the desert floor. Some experts worry that exhaust from planes and helicopters could accelerate erosion of the lines over time. In response to these challenges, Peruvian authorities have implemented stricter regulations and improved infrastructure to manage tourism more sustainably. However, balancing preservation with public access remains an ongoing challenge as the world's fascination with these ancient wonders continues to grow. Protecting the very large array's delicate equipment from human interference is a critical concern for scientists and engineers. Multiple layers of security and precautions are in place to ensure the integrity of the data collected by this powerful radio telescope. The entire facility is situated in a remote location, far from populated areas. This isolation serves as the first line of defense against unintended interference from human activities. The plains of San Agustin in New Mexico, where the array is located, was specifically chosen for its low population density and minimal radio frequency interference. Access to the site is strictly controlled. Visitors are only allowed in designated areas, and tours are carefully managed to prevent any disruption to the sensitive equipment. Security personnel monitor the premises around the clock, ensuring that no unauthorized individuals can approach the antennas or other crucial components. The equipment itself is designed with shielding to protect against external interference. Additionally, a radio quiet zone has been established around the facility, limiting the use of devices that could potentially disrupt observations. This combination of physical isolation, controlled access, and technological safeguards helps maintain the Very Large Array's position as one of the world's premier radio observatories. Climate change presents a significant threat to the ancient Nazca Lines in Peru, endangering these remarkable geoglyphs that have endured for over 2,000 years. As global temperatures rise, weather patterns in the region are becoming more extreme and unpredictable, putting these delicate earthworks at risk. One of the primary dangers comes from increased rainfall in the typically arid Nazca Desert. More frequent and intense storms can lead to flooding and erosion, potentially washing away the shallow lines etched into the desert floor. The fragile topsoil, which forms the contrast that makes the lines visible, is particularly vulnerable to being swept away by heavy rains. Rising temperatures also contribute to the problem by altering wind patterns. Stronger winds can carry more sand and dust, gradually eroding the lines, or potentially burying them under new layers of sediment. This process could obscure the intricate designs, making them harder to discern from the ground and air. Furthermore, changes in temperature and humidity can affect the chemical composition of the soil, potentially leading to increased deterioration of the lines. As the climate shifts, it may also alter the growth patterns of local vegetation, which could encroach upon and disrupt the ancient designs. These combined effects of climate change pose a serious threat to the long-term preservation of the Nazca Lines, highlighting the urgent need for conservation efforts to protect this invaluable World Heritage Site. The local communities surrounding the Nazca Lines in Peru play a crucial role in their preservation. These ancient geoglyphs, etched into the desert floor centuries ago, are incredibly fragile and vulnerable to damage. The people living in nearby towns and villages have become the frontline guardians of this UNESCO World Heritage Site. Many locals work as tour guides, sharing their knowledge and cultural heritage with visitors while ensuring that tourists respect the site's delicate nature. They help enforce rules about where people can walk and what areas are off-limits, protecting the lines from inadvertent damage caused by foot traffic. Community members also participate in conservation efforts, working alongside archaeologists and government officials to monitor the site for signs of erosion or vandalism. They often report any unusual activities or potential threats to the authorities, acting as an early warning system for the protection of the lines. Furthermore, local schools and community organizations play a vital role in educating younger generations about the importance of the Nazca Lines. By instilling a sense of pride and responsibility in their unique cultural heritage, These communities ensure that the commitment to preserving the lines continues into the future. The Nazca Lines, ancient geoglyphs etched into the desert landscape of southern Peru, have attracted international attention and protection efforts. UNESCO, the United Nations educational, scientific, and cultural organization, plays a crucial role in safeguarding these remarkable creations. In 1994, UNESCO designated the Nazca Lines as a World Heritage Site, recognizing their outstanding universal value and cultural significance. This designation brings global recognition and support for conservation efforts. The World Monuments Fund, an international non-profit organization dedicated to preserving cultural heritage sites worldwide, has also contributed to protecting the Nazca Lines. They have provided funding and expertise for various conservation projects, including the development of management plans and the implementation of protective measures. The International Council on Monuments and Sites, known as ICOMOS, serves as an advisory body to UNESCO and has been involved in assessing the condition of the Nazca Lines and recommending preservation strategies. Their expertise helps ensure that conservation efforts align with international best practices and standards for cultural heritage protection. Additionally, international research institutions and universities collaborate with Peruvian authorities to study and monitor the Nazca Lines. These partnerships bring advanced technologies and methodologies to the site, enhancing our understanding of the geoglyphs and contributing to their long-term preservation. Through these combined efforts, international organizations play a vital role in protecting and conserving the enigmatic Nazca Lines for future generations. Conservation efforts are increasingly harnessing the power of technology to protect and preserve our planet's biodiversity. One of the most promising advancements is the use of satellite imagery and remote sensing technologies. These tools allow scientists to monitor vast areas of land and sea, tracking deforestation, wildlife movements, and changes in ecosystems with unprecedented accuracy. Artificial intelligence and machine learning algorithms are revolutionizing data analysis in conservation. These systems can process enormous amounts of information from camera traps, acoustic sensors, and other monitoring devices, identifying species and tracking population trends much faster than human researchers alone. This rapid analysis enables conservationists to respond quickly to threats and make more informed decisions. Drones have become invaluable tools for conservation, offering a cost-effective way to survey difficult-to-reach areas and detect illegal activities like poaching. Equipped with high-resolution cameras and thermal imaging sensors, these unmanned aerial vehicles can cover large territories and provide real-time data to rangers on the ground. Genetic technologies are also playing a crucial role in conservation efforts. DNA analysis helps scientists understand population dynamics, identify endangered species, and even combat wildlife trafficking by tracing the origin of confiscated animal products. Additionally, emerging techniques like gene editing hold potential for increasing the resilience of threatened species to diseases and environmental changes. Researchers studying the Nazca Lines face a delicate challenge in balancing their scientific curiosity with the need to preserve these ancient wonders. The lines, etched into the desert floor of southern Peru, are incredibly fragile and susceptible to damage from even the lightest footsteps. To protect the site, access is strictly controlled, and most research is now conducted using non-invasive methods. Aerial photography and satellite imagery have become crucial tools for studying the lines without physically touching them. These technologies allow researchers to map and analyze the geoglyphs in great detail from a safe distance. Additionally, drone technology has revolutionized the way scientists can observe and document the lines, providing high-resolution images and three-dimensional models without ever setting foot on the ground. When on-site research is necessary, scientists follow strict protocols to minimize their impact. They often use lightweight equipment and wear special shoes designed to distribute weight evenly and reduce pressure on the delicate desert surface. Some researchers even work from elevated platforms to avoid direct contact with the lines altogether. Collaboration between archaeologists, conservationists, and local authorities is essential in maintaining this balance. By sharing data and coordinating efforts, the scientific community can continue to unravel the mysteries of the Nazca Lines while ensuring their preservation for future generations to study and admire. The Nazca Lines, etched into the arid Peruvian desert, are safeguarded by a combination of national and international legal protections. Peru recognizes these ancient geoglyphs as a national cultural heritage site, granting them special status under Peruvian law. This designation restricts development and mandates conservation efforts to preserve the fragile designs. On the global stage, the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, known as UNESCO, declared the Nazca Lines a World Heritage Site in 1994. This prestigious status acknowledges the universal value of the geoglyphs and commits the international community to their protection. The UNESCO designation brings additional resources and expertise to support conservation efforts. Peruvian authorities have implemented strict access controls to protect the lines from foot traffic and vehicular damage. Visitors are generally restricted to viewing the geoglyphs from designated observation towers or through authorized aerial tours. The area is regularly patrolled to prevent unauthorized access and potential vandalism. Despite these protections, the Nazca Lines face ongoing threats from both natural erosion and human activity. Climate change, increasing tourism, and nearby urban development pose challenges to their long-term preservation. Consequently, Peruvian and international experts continually work to refine and strengthen the legal and practical measures safeguarding these enigmatic ancient wonders. The UNESCO World Heritage status has significantly bolstered conservation efforts around the globe. This prestigious designation has become a powerful tool for protecting natural and cultural sites of outstanding universal value. When a site receives World Heritage status, it gains international recognition and support, often leading to increased funding and resources for conservation initiatives. Countries hosting World Heritage sites are obligated to protect and manage these areas effectively. This commitment often results in stricter environmental regulations, improved infrastructure, and enhanced monitoring systems. The status also attracts global attention, encouraging sustainable tourism practices that balance visitor access with preservation needs. Furthermore, World Heritage status fosters collaboration between nations, experts, and local communities. This international cooperation facilitates the exchange of knowledge, best practices, and innovative conservation techniques. In many cases, the designation has helped raise awareness about lesser-known sites, prompting local authorities and populations to take pride in their heritage and actively participate in conservation efforts. However, the impact of World Heritage status is not without challenges. Some sites face increased pressure from tourism, requiring careful management to prevent degradation. Additionally, the threat of losing the prestigious status can motivate governments and stakeholders to address conservation issues more urgently, as seen in cases where sites have been placed on the list of World Heritage in danger. The Nazca Lines in Peru stand out among ancient geoglyphs for their immense scale and complexity. These enormous designs, etched into the desert floor, span an area of nearly 450 square kilometers. What makes them particularly remarkable is the precision of their geometric shapes and animal figures, which are best appreciated from an aerial view. While the Nazca Lines are perhaps the most famous, they are not alone in the realm of ancient geoglyphs. In England, the Uffington White Horse, carved into a hillside, dates back over 3,000 years. This stylized horse figure, created by digging trenches and filling them with white chalk, offers a striking contrast to the green landscape. In the United States, the Blythe intaglios in California present another intriguing example. These giant human and animal figures were created by scraping away dark desert rocks to reveal lighter soil underneath. Though smaller than the Nazca Lines, they share a similar mystery regarding their purpose and creators. What sets the Nazca Lines apart is their sheer number and variety. With over 800 straight lines, 300 geometric figures, and 70 animal and plant designs, they represent an unparalleled feat of ancient engineering and artistry. Their creation, without the benefit of aerial perspective, continues to astound researchers and visitors alike, cementing their place as one of the most extraordinary examples of ancient geoglyphs in the world. The Nazca Lines in Peru and the Atacama Giant in Chile share several intriguing similarities, despite being located in different countries. Both are ancient geoglyphs, enormous designs created on the ground and best viewed from above. These massive artworks were crafted by pre-Columbian cultures in South America, demonstrating the remarkable skills and cultural practices of ancient civilizations. Both the Nazca Lines and the Atacama Giant were created using similar techniques. The artists removed the top layer of darker rocks to reveal the lighter soil beneath, creating contrast visible from a distance. This method has allowed these geoglyphs to endure for centuries, withstanding the test of time and environmental factors. The purpose behind these colossal artworks remains a subject of debate among archaeologists and historians. Both are believed to have had significant cultural or religious importance to their creators. Theories suggest they might have been used for astronomical observations, as part of religious rituals, or as markers for underground water sources in these arid regions. The Nazca Lines and the Atacama Giant continue to captivate researchers and visitors alike, serving as reminders of the ingenuity and mystery of ancient South American cultures. Their endurance and scale showcase the remarkable achievements of these civilizations, leaving us to marvel at their ability to create such lasting and impressive works of art. The Nazca Lines, etched into the arid Peruvian desert, stand out as a unique example of ancient geoglyphs. Unlike many other cultures that created large-scale artworks, the Nazca people used a surprisingly simple yet effective technique. They removed the top layer of reddish pebbles to expose the lighter-colored ground beneath, creating stark contrasts visible from great heights. This method differs significantly from techniques used by other ancient civilizations. For instance, the ancient Egyptians and Maya built massive stone structures, while European cultures often used standing stones to create patterns. The Nazca approach required minimal excavation and no construction, relying instead on the natural properties of the desert landscape. The precision of the Nazca Lines is remarkable, especially considering the scale of the designs. Other cultures typically worked on smaller scales or used physical structures to guide their work. The Nazca people, however, managed to create enormous figures with smooth, continuous lines, suggesting they had sophisticated surveying and planning methods. The preservation of the Nazca Lines also sets them apart. While many ancient artworks have eroded or been destroyed over time, the dry, stable climate of the Nazca Desert has kept these geoglyphs intact for over 2 millennia. This longevity is unusual compared to earthworks in other parts of the world, which often suffer from weathering and vegetation growth. Geoglyphs, those massive ground drawings visible from above, share fascinating commonalities across different cultures and continents. One recurring theme is the depiction of animals, both real and mythical. From the famous Nazca Lines in Peru featuring hummingbirds and monkeys to the White Horse of Uffington in England, these animal figures seem to hold special significance for their creators. Geometric shapes form another prevalent motif in geoglyphs worldwide. Spirals, circles, and intricate linear patterns appear in various locations, from the American Southwest to the steppes of Kazakhstan. These abstract designs often carry deep symbolic meanings, possibly related to astronomical observations or spiritual beliefs. Human figures also feature prominently in many geoglyphs. The Atacama Giant in Chile and the Marie Man in Australia are prime examples of enormous human forms etched into the landscape. These anthropomorphic figures might represent deities, ancestors, or serve as markers of cultural identity. Interestingly, many geoglyphs align with celestial events or geographical features, suggesting a common human desire to connect the Earth with the cosmos. This shared theme across diverse cultures hints at the universal human impulse to leave lasting marks on the landscape, communicating with both the heavens and future generations. The Nazca Lines stand out as truly exceptional in both their scale and complexity. These ancient geoglyphs, etched into the arid Peruvian desert, cover an area of nearly 450 square kilometers. Their sheer size is astounding, with some individual figures stretching over 300 meters in length. This immense scale makes them visible from the air, a fact that adds to their mystery given they were created long before the advent of flight. The complexity of the Nazca Lines is equally remarkable. They consist of over 800 straight lines, 300 geometric figures, and 70 animal and plant designs. These intricate shapes include a hummingbird, a spider, a monkey, and various other creatures, all rendered with surprising accuracy and detail. The precision of these figures is particularly impressive, considering they were created between 500 BCE and 500 CE without the benefit of modern surveying techniques or aerial perspective. What sets the Nazca Lines apart is not just their individual characteristics, but the combination of their vast scale and intricate design. Few other ancient sites match this blend of size and sophistication. The lines required extensive planning and coordination to execute, suggesting a level of social organization and artistic vision that was highly advanced for its time. Moreover, the Nazca Lines have endured for over 1,500 years, preserved by the unique environmental conditions of the Nazca Desert. This longevity, coupled with their scale and complexity, makes them a truly unique archaeological wonder, challenging our understanding of ancient civilizations and their capabilities. Comparing the Nazca Lines to other geoglyphs around the world offers valuable insights into their potential purpose and significance. The Blythe intaglios in California and the Uffington White Horse in England share similarities with the Nazca Lines, suggesting common themes across ancient cultures. These geoglyphs often served as markers for sacred spaces or played roles in religious ceremonies. Many were designed to be viewed from above, indicating a connection to the sky or celestial beings. This aligns with theories that the Nazca Lines might have been created as offerings to sky deities or as part of astronomical observations. The use of animal and human figures in the Nazca Lines mirrors patterns seen in other geoglyphs, potentially representing important cultural symbols or deities. The sheer scale of the Nazca Lines, however, sets them apart from many other examples, hinting at a particularly significant cultural or spiritual importance. Comparisons also reveal differences in construction techniques and preservation, providing clues about the unique environmental and cultural factors that influenced the creation and longevity of the Nazca Lines. These insights help archaeologists piece together a more comprehensive understanding of the purpose and meaning behind these enigmatic desert drawings. The Nazca Lines of Peru stand out as a unique form of ancient art and engineering compared to other rock art traditions in the Americas. While many indigenous cultures created petroglyphs and pictographs on rock surfaces, the Nazca Lines are distinctive in their massive scale and aerial visibility. Unlike the smaller, more intimate rock art found in places like the American Southwest or the Amazon, the Nazca Lines cover an area of nearly 170 square miles. These geoglyphs, etched into the desert floor, depict various animals, plants, and geometric shapes that are best viewed from above. This contrasts sharply with most other American rock art, which is typically found on cliff faces or cave walls and meant to be seen up close. The purpose and meaning of the Nazca Lines remain subjects of debate among scholars. While many rock art traditions in the Americas are thought to have spiritual or ceremonial significance, the exact function of the Nazca Lines is less clear. Some researchers suggest they may have been used for astronomical observations or as part of water-related rituals, given the arid environment of the Nazca region. The techniques used to create the Nazca Lines also differ from other American rock art traditions. While most rock art involves carving or painting directly onto stone surfaces, the Nazca people removed the top layer of reddish pebbles to reveal the lighter-colored ground beneath, creating lines and shapes through this subtractive process. This method, combined with the dry, stable climate of the Nazca Desert, has allowed these ancient designs to endure for over 2 millennia, far longer than many other forms of rock art in the Americas. Modern geoglyph creation, offers valuable insights into the methods our ancestors may have used to craft massive earthworks. In the United Kingdom, crop circle artists have demonstrated how simple tools like ropes and planks can be used to create intricate designs in fields, echoing techniques that could have been employed by ancient cultures. These contemporary artists work quickly and efficiently, often completing large-scale designs in a single night. In the United States, landscape artist Jim Denevan creates enormous geometric patterns on beaches and desert floors using only rakes and sticks. His work illustrates how precise and complex designs can be achieved with minimal tools and careful planning. Denevan's process involves measuring and marking key points before connecting them to form expansive patterns, a technique that ancient geoglyph makers likely employed. The Desert Breath land art installation in Egypt, created in the 1990s, demonstrates how modern machinery can be used to move vast quantities of sand and rock to form large-scale designs. While ancient cultures lacked such technology, this project highlights the importance of careful planning and execution in creating enduring geoglyphs. These contemporary practices suggest that ancient geoglyph makers likely relied on a combination of simple tools, precise measurements, and coordinated effort to create their monumental works. By studying modern techniques, archaeologists and researchers can better understand and appreciate the skill and ingenuity of our ancestors in crafting these enigmatic landmarks. The Nazca Lines and modern land art share intriguing parallels that offer valuable insights into human creativity and our relationship with the landscape. Both forms of expression manipulate the earth on a grand scale, creating designs meant to be viewed from above. This similarity highlights a universal human desire to leave lasting marks on our environment and communicate through visual means. One key difference lies in the purpose and context of these creations. The Nazca Lines, created between 500 and 2,000 years ago, likely held deep cultural and religious significance for their creators. Modern land artists, on the other hand, often aim to make statements about environmental issues or explore the intersection of art and nature. This contrast reveals how artistic motivations evolve alongside societal changes and technological advancements. Comparing the techniques used in both ancient and contemporary land art showcases the ingenuity of human problem-solving across time. The Nazca people used simple tools and remarkable precision to create their enormous geoglyphs, while modern artists often employ advanced technology and machinery. Yet both demonstrate an impressive understanding of scale, perspective, and the interplay between the artwork and its surroundings. The longevity of the Nazca Lines also prompts reflection on the permanence and impermanence of art. Many modern land artworks are intentionally temporary, designed to weather and change over time. The Nazca Lines, having endured for centuries, raise questions about the long-term impact of human creation on the landscape and challenge us to consider the legacy we leave behind. The study of geoglyphs around the world provides valuable insights into the Nazca Lines of Peru. Ancient cultures across continents created massive ground drawings, and examining these helps archaeologists better understand the purposes and techniques behind the Nazca Lines. In the United States, the Blythe intaglios in California share similarities with the Nazca Lines. These Native American geoglyphs depict human and animal figures, much like some Nazca designs. By studying the cultural significance of the Blythe intaglios, researchers gain perspective on possible religious or ceremonial roles the Nazca Lines might have played. Australian Aboriginal geoglyphs offer another point of comparison. The Maree Man, a large outline of an indigenous figure in South Australia, demonstrates how ancient peoples could create precise, large-scale artworks visible from above. This lends credence to theories that the Nazca civilization possessed sophisticated surveying and engineering skills. Examining geoglyphs in other parts of South America, such as the Sierra de Guadalupe in Mexico, reveals common themes and techniques. These similarities suggest broader cultural connections and shared knowledge across ancient American civilizations, potentially shedding light on the context in which the Nazca Lines were created. The Nazca Lines, those enormous geoglyphs etched into the Peruvian desert, have long puzzled researchers. While their purpose remains a mystery, some scientists have proposed an intriguing theory that these ancient markings could have served as a form of warning. Recent studies have revealed that the creation of the Nazca Lines coincided with periods of significant climate change in the region. Specifically, the lines appear to have been made during times of increased rainfall and flooding. This correlation has led some experts to suggest that the geoglyphs might have been a way for the ancient Nazca people to mark areas prone to flooding or other environmental hazards. Furthermore, the placement of certain lines and figures seems to correspond with underground water sources. This has given rise to the idea that the Nazca Lines could have been used to indicate the locations of precious water resources, serving as a vital warning system in an arid environment where water scarcity was a constant threat. Another compelling piece of evidence comes from the discovery of ceremonial objects and remains near some of the lines. These findings suggest that the geoglyphs may have had a ritual purpose, possibly related to appeasing gods or spirits associated with natural disasters. In this context, the lines could be seen as a form of spiritual warning or protection against environmental calamities. The Nazca Lines, those enormous geoglyphs etched into the desert landscape of southern Peru, have long puzzled researchers and sparked numerous theories about their purpose. One intriguing hypothesis suggests that these ancient markings might have served as a warning system for environmental changes. The harsh desert environment of the Nazca region is subject to periodic climatic shifts, including devastating floods caused by El Niño events. Some scientists propose that the lines could have been created as a sophisticated means of tracking and predicting these environmental fluctuations. The various shapes and patterns might have corresponded to different weather patterns or served as indicators for the onset of particular climatic conditions. Furthermore, the lines could have acted as a form of cultural memory, preserving knowledge about past environmental events and serving as a guide for future generations. By creating these massive, enduring symbols, the Nazca people might have been attempting to communicate crucial information about their environment across time. However, it is important to note that this theory, while fascinating, remains speculative. The true purpose of the Nazca Lines continues to be a subject of debate among archaeologists and researchers. As we continue to study these remarkable creations, we may uncover more evidence that sheds light on their role in ancient Nazca society and their potential connection to environmental awareness. Animal figures in ancient art and mythology often symbolized powerful forces or dangers that early humans faced. Large predators like lions, bears, and wolves frequently represented physical threats, embodying the very real danger these animals posed to human settlements and individuals. These creatures were seen as embodiments of raw strength, ferocity, and the untamed wilderness. Serpents and snakes were commonly associated with hidden dangers, deception, and sudden death due to their venomous bites and stealthy nature. In many cultures, they came to represent cosmic threats or evil forces. Similarly, mythical creatures like dragons often combined features of multiple dangerous animals, representing more abstract or overwhelming threats such as natural disasters or unknown perils. Scavengers like vultures or hyenas sometimes symbolized death and decay, serving as reminders of mortality and the dangers of disease. These animals, often seen around carrion, became linked with the aftermath of violence or the unseen threats of illness. Water-dwelling creatures such as crocodiles or sea monsters represented the dangers of rivers and oceans, which were both vital for human civilization and sources of great peril. These beasts embodied the unpredictable and uncontrollable aspects of nature, reminding humans of their vulnerability in the face of powerful natural forces. Ancient cultures often looked to the sky for guidance and warnings, and some evidence suggests they may have used celestial alignments to predict or commemorate significant events. At Stonehenge, for example, the arrangement of stones aligns with the summer solstice sunrise, potentially serving as a prehistoric calendar. Similarly, the Maya built structures like the pyramid at Chichen Itza, where the equinox sun creates a shadow resembling a serpent descending the stairs. These alignments could have been used to mark important agricultural or religious dates, but whether they were intended as warnings is less clear. Some researchers speculate that ancient astronomers might have used these structures to track and predict celestial events, like eclipses or the appearances of comets, which were often seen as omens. In more recent history, many cultures have interpreted unusual celestial phenomena as portents. The appearance of Halley's Comet in 1066, for instance, was seen by some as a bad omen for King Harold of England, who was defeated by William the Conqueror that same year. While these interpretations were often made after the fact, they demonstrate the enduring human tendency to seek meaning in the movements of celestial bodies. The mysterious lines etched across the landscape have long puzzled scientists and historians alike. While their true purpose remains unknown, some researchers have proposed an intriguing theory that these ancient markings could have served as a warning to future generations. This hypothesis suggests that our ancestors may have used these massive geoglyphs to communicate important information across vast stretches of time. One possibility is that the lines were created to mark areas of geological instability or environmental hazards. Ancient peoples, through observation and experience, might have recognized patterns of natural disasters such as earthquakes, floods, or volcanic activity. By inscribing these massive symbols on the earth, they could have been attempting to alert their descendants to potential dangers in specific regions. Another interpretation proposes that the lines might have been used to denote changes in climate or resource availability. As early civilizations grappled with shifting environmental conditions, they may have developed these elaborate systems to record and transmit crucial knowledge about agricultural cycles, water sources, or migratory patterns of animals. This information, preserved in the form of giant earth drawings, could have helped future generations adapt to their surroundings and survive in challenging landscapes. However, it is important to note that these theories remain speculative. The true intent behind these ancient lines continues to elude us, and their purpose may be far more complex or entirely different from what we currently imagine. As we continue to study these enigmatic markings, we may yet uncover new insights into the wisdom and foresight of our ancestors and the messages they sought to convey across millennia. The warning theories surrounding the Nazca Lines have sparked intriguing discussions about their potential connection to Nazca cultural beliefs. These theories suggest that the enormous geoglyphs etched into the desert floor of southern Peru might have served as warnings or messages to the gods. In Nazca culture, the natural world held great significance, and the people believed in powerful deities that controlled various aspects of their environment. The lines and figures, some stretching for kilometers, could have been created as a means of communication with these divine forces. Some researchers propose that the Nazca people may have used these massive drawings to implore their gods for protection against natural disasters such as droughts or floods. The animal and plant motifs depicted in the Nazca Lines, including monkeys, hummingbirds, and trees, align with the Nazca reverence for nature and its cycles. These images might have been warnings or reminders to the gods about the delicate balance of the ecosystem and the need for favorable conditions for agriculture and survival in the harsh desert environment. While these warning theories offer an intriguing perspective, it is important to note that the true purpose of the Nazca Lines remains a subject of ongoing debate among archaeologists and anthropologists. The alignment of these theories with Nazca cultural beliefs provides a fascinating avenue for further exploration and understanding of this ancient civilization and its monumental creations. The Nazca people, who inhabited the arid coastal plains of southern Peru between 100 BCE and 800 CE, faced several environmental challenges that likely shaped their concerns and beliefs. Living in a desert ecosystem, water scarcity was a constant threat. Prolonged droughts could devastate their agricultural practices, which relied heavily on sophisticated irrigation systems. Earthquakes posed another significant danger. The Nazca region sits along the boundary between the Nazca and South American tectonic plates, making it prone to seismic activity. These earthquakes could damage their intricate canal systems and potentially alter the course of the rivers they depended on for survival. El Niño events, while less frequent, could bring catastrophic flooding to the normally dry region. These periodic climate patterns could unleash torrential rains, causing flash floods that would wash away crops, homes, and even entire settlements. The unpredictable nature of these events likely added to the Nazca people's sense of vulnerability. Given these environmental threats, it is not surprising that many scholars believe the famous Nazca Lines, enormous geoglyphs etched into the desert floor, may have served as ritual spaces for ceremonies aimed at appeasing the gods and ensuring agricultural fertility. These ancient people, like many cultures facing environmental uncertainties, likely developed complex belief systems and practices to cope with the constant threat of natural disasters. Warning theories propose that the Nazca Lines were created as massive signals to the gods, visible from the heavens. These theories suggest that the ancient Nazca people believed their deities could observe Earth from above, and thus constructed enormous geoglyphs to catch their attention. The sheer scale of the lines, some stretching for miles across the desert, aligns with this idea of divine communication. The remarkable visibility of the Nazca Lines from an aerial perspective supports these warning theories. The contrast between the dark desert floor and the lighter exposed subsoil creates distinct images that are clearly visible from above. This visibility would have been crucial if the lines were indeed meant to be seen by celestial beings. Moreover, the content of many geoglyphs, such as animals and plants, could represent pleas for divine intervention. For instance, depictions of water-related creatures might have been appeals for rain in the arid Nazca region. The immense effort required to create these massive designs underscores the perceived importance of communicating with the gods. However, it is important to note that while warning theories offer an intriguing explanation for the scale and visibility of the Nazca Lines, they remain speculative. Ongoing research continues to explore various hypotheses about the purpose and creation of these enigmatic desert drawings. The purpose of the Nazca Lines remains a subject of debate among archaeologists and historians. While some theories suggest they might have had astronomical or religious significance, the idea of them serving as warnings to rival civilizations is not widely supported by evidence. The Nazca Lines, created between 500 BCE and 500 CE in the Nazca Desert of Peru, are best viewed from the air or high vantage points. This raises questions about their intended audience. As the Nazca people lacked the technology for flight, it seems unlikely they would create such elaborate designs as warnings if they could not be easily seen by potential rivals on the ground. Moreover, the content of the geoglyphs primarily consists of animals, plants, and geometric shapes, rather than intimidating or threatening imagery that might be expected in a warning system. The scale and intricacy of the lines suggest they held deep cultural or spiritual importance to the Nazca people. Current research points to the lines being related to water sources and fertility rituals, which were crucial for survival in the arid desert environment. This interpretation aligns more closely with the known cultural practices and environmental challenges of the ancient Nazca civilization than the concept of territorial warnings. The warning interpretation of the Nazca Lines is just one of several theories about their purpose. This idea suggests that the lines were created to warn future generations about potential natural disasters or environmental changes. However, it's important to consider how this theory aligns with other explanations proposed by researchers and archaeologists. Some scholars believe the lines served a primarily astronomical function, acting as a giant calendar or map of celestial bodies. This theory shares some common ground with the warning interpretation, as both involve observing and recording natural phenomena. The lines could have been used to track seasonal changes and predict weather patterns, which might have included warnings about potential droughts or floods. Another prominent theory suggests that the Nazca Lines were part of religious or ritual practices. This explanation proposes that the lines were created as offerings to the gods or as pathways for spiritual journeys. While this might seem at odds with the warning interpretation, it's possible that religious beliefs and practical concerns about environmental changes were intertwined in Nazca culture. The warning interpretation also intersects with theories about the lines being used for water-related purposes. Some researchers argue that the lines were part of a complex system for locating and managing water resources in the arid Nazca region. This theory aligns well with the idea of the lines serving as a warning or guide for dealing with environmental challenges, particularly those related to water scarcity. The Nazca Lines, ancient geoglyphs etched into the desert landscape of southern Peru, continue to exert a profound influence on modern Peruvian culture. These enigmatic designs, some stretching over 900 feet in length, have become iconic symbols of Peru's rich archaeological heritage and mysterious past. In contemporary Peruvian society, the Nazca Lines feature prominently in national identity and pride. They appear on everything from tourism, promotional materials, to local art and handicrafts. Many Peruvian businesses and organizations incorporate stylized versions of the Nazca figures into their logos and branding, linking modern enterprises to the country's ancient legacy. The lines have also sparked a renewed interest in indigenous culture and history among Peruvians. This has led to increased efforts to preserve and study pre-Columbian sites and traditions throughout the country. Schools often include lessons about the Nazca Lines in their curricula, fostering a sense of connection to Peru's ancient past among younger generations. Furthermore, the ongoing mystery surrounding the purpose and creation of the Nazca Lines has inspired a wealth of scientific research and speculation in Peru. This has contributed to the development of archaeological and anthropological studies in the country, positioning Peru as a significant contributor to these fields on the global stage. The Nazca Lines have become a cornerstone of Peru's tourism industry, drawing thousands of visitors each year to the arid coastal plains of southern Peru. These ancient geoglyphs, etched into the desert floor over 1,500 years ago, captivate tourists with their sheer size and mysterious origins. Visitors typically view the Nazca Lines from small aircraft that fly over the expansive site, offering a bird's-eye view of the intricate designs. This aerial tour industry has become a significant economic driver for the region, supporting local businesses and creating jobs in the tourism sector. The allure of the Nazca Lines extends beyond the immediate area, often serving as a key attraction in broader Peruvian travel itineraries. Many tourists combine their visit to the lines with trips to other famous Peruvian sites, like Machu Picchu or the capital city of Lima. This integration into larger travel plans helps to distribute tourism benefits across the country. Beyond their economic impact, the Nazca Lines play a crucial role in showcasing Peru's rich cultural heritage. They serve as a tangible link to the ancient Nazca civilization, sparking interest in Peru's pre-Columbian history and encouraging further exploration of the country's archaeological treasures. This cultural significance enhances Peru's appeal as a destination for those interested in ancient mysteries and historical wonders. The Nazca Lines, those enigmatic geoglyphs, etched into the Peruvian desert, have captivated artists and writers for decades. In contemporary art, these ancient wonders often serve as a source of inspiration for abstract and surrealist works. Painters and sculptors frequently incorporate the distinctive shapes of the Nazca figures, such as the hummingbird, monkey, and spider, into their creations. These modern interpretations often blend the ancient with the futuristic, reflecting on themes of human history and our connection to the cosmos. In the realm of literature, the Nazca Lines feature prominently in science fiction and mystery novels. Authors weave tales of ancient aliens, lost civilizations, and hidden messages within these massive desert drawings. Some writers use the lines as a backdrop for archaeological thrillers, while others explore alternative historical narratives that reimagine the purpose and creators of these geoglyphs. The Nazca Lines also appear in more scholarly works, with researchers and academics publishing books that delve into the archaeological and cultural significance of these ancient wonders. These texts often combine scientific analysis with speculation about the line's purpose, construction methods, and enduring mystery. Across both art and literature, the Nazca Lines continue to symbolize human ingenuity, the enduring nature of ancient cultures, and the allure of unsolved mysteries. Their presence in contemporary creative works ensures that these remarkable desert etchings remain a source of fascination and inspiration for modern audiences, bridging the gap between ancient wonders and contemporary imagination. The Nazca Lines, Those enigmatic geoglyphs etched into the Peruvian desert have captured the imagination of researchers and the public alike for decades. To share knowledge about these ancient wonders, several educational initiatives have been developed. Museums play a crucial role in this effort. The Maria Reike Museum in Nazca, Peru offers visitors a comprehensive look at the lines, featuring exhibits on their creation, purpose, and cultural significance. This museum honors Maria Reich, the German mathematician who dedicated her life to studying and preserving the Nazca Lines. Universities and research institutions worldwide have incorporated the Nazca Lines into their archaeology and anthropology curricula. Students learn about the advanced engineering and astronomical knowledge the Nazca people possessed, as well as the theories surrounding the line's purpose. Field trips and research expeditions to the site provide hands-on learning experiences for students and scholars. Technology has also enhanced educational outreach. Virtual reality tours allow people from across the globe to experience the Nazca Lines without physically visiting Peru. Online courses and documentaries provide in-depth information about the geoglyphs, making this knowledge accessible to a wider audience. These digital initiatives not only educate, but also raise awareness about the importance of preserving this UNESCO World Heritage Site for future generations. The Nazca Lines, etched into the arid landscape of southern Peru, have become a significant driver of tourism in the region. These ancient geoglyphs, created by the Nazca culture between 500 and 2,000 years ago, draw thousands of visitors annually. This influx of tourists has led to the development of a thriving hospitality industry in nearby towns and cities. Local businesses have adapted to cater to the needs of international travelers. Hotels, restaurants, and tour operators have sprung up, providing employment opportunities for residents. The demand for skilled tour guides who can explain the history and significance of the Nazca Lines has also increased. This has encouraged local people to pursue education in archaeology, history, and languages to meet the tourism sector's needs. However, the economic impact extends beyond direct tourism. The global recognition of the Nazca Lines has put the region on the map, attracting researchers, archaeologists, and documentary filmmakers. These professionals often stay for extended periods, contributing to the local economy through long-term accommodation and other services. While the Nazca Lines have undoubtedly boosted the local economy, there are concerns about sustainable tourism. Balancing economic growth with the preservation of this delicate UNESCO World Heritage Site remains a challenge. Local authorities and businesses are working to implement responsible tourism practices to ensure that the economic benefits do not come at the cost of damaging this irreplaceable cultural treasure. The Nazca Lines, those enigmatic geoglyphs etched into the desert landscape of southern Peru, have inspired both wonder and reverence for centuries. While there are no specific cultural festivals dedicated solely to celebrating the Nazca Lines, they play a significant role in the broader cultural events of the region. The city of Nazca hosts an annual festival called Semana Turística de Nazca, or Nazca Tourist Week, typically held in October. This event showcases the rich cultural heritage of the area, with the Nazca Lines featuring prominently. Visitors can enjoy traditional music, dance performances, and local cuisine while learning about the history and significance of the geoglyphs. Throughout the year, various tour operators and local organizations offer special viewing experiences of the Nazca Lines, often timed to coincide with astronomical events or solstices. These occasions provide unique opportunities to appreciate the lines in different lighting conditions and explore theories about their celestial alignments. It is worth noting that the Peruvian government and local communities have taken steps to protect and preserve the Nazca Lines, recognizing their immense cultural and historical value. While large-scale festivals directly on the site are prohibited to prevent damage, the lines continue to be a source of pride and fascination for both locals and visitors, inspiring ongoing research, educational programs, and cultural appreciation events in the surrounding areas. Modern Peruvians take great pride in the Nazca Lines as a symbol of their rich cultural heritage and the ingenuity of their ancestors. These enormous geoglyphs, etched into the desert floor of southern Peru, continue to captivate both locals and visitors from around the world. Many Peruvians see the Nazca Lines as a testament to the advanced knowledge and skills of the ancient Nazca civilization. They view these intricate designs as proof that their forebears possessed a sophisticated understanding of geometry, astronomy, and large-scale engineering long before the arrival of European colonizers. The lines also play a significant role in Peru's tourism industry, drawing thousands of visitors each year and contributing to the local economy. This has led to increased efforts to preserve and protect the site, with many Peruvians actively involved in conservation initiatives and educational programs about the lines. However, there is also ongoing debate among Peruvians about the true purpose and meaning of the Nazca Lines. While some embrace traditional interpretations linking the designs to ancient rituals or astronomical observations, others are open to new theories and scientific investigations. This blend of reverence for tradition and curiosity about new discoveries reflects the complex relationship modern Peruvians have with their ancient wonders. The Nazca Lines in Peru have sparked debates over their ownership and management for decades. These ancient geoglyphs, etched into the desert floor, are a UNESCO World Heritage Site, but questions persist about who should control and protect them. One key debate centers on the role of the Peruvian government versus local indigenous communities. While the national government claims authority over the site, some argue that the descendants of the Nazca people should have a greater say in its management. This tension reflects broader issues of indigenous rights and cultural heritage preservation throughout Latin America. Another point of contention is the balance between tourism and conservation. The lines attract thousands of visitors annually, providing economic benefits to the region. However, increased foot traffic and development pose risks to these fragile designs. Some advocate for stricter access limits, while others push for expanded tourism infrastructure. There are also ongoing discussions about the best methods for studying and preserving the lines. Scientists, archaeologists, and local stakeholders sometimes disagree on approaches to research and conservation. These debates highlight the challenges of managing such a unique and vulnerable cultural site in the 21st century. The enigmatic Nazca Lines of Peru have left an indelible mark on modern architecture and design, influencing creative minds across the globe. These ancient geoglyphs, etched into the desert floor over 1,500 years ago, continue to captivate with their scale, precision, and mysterious purpose. In contemporary architecture, the Nazca Lines have inspired a trend towards large-scale ground art and land sculptures. Architects and landscape designers have embraced the concept of creating massive patterns visible from above, integrating them into parks, campuses, and even corporate headquarters. These designs often incorporate sustainable elements, blending form with function in a nod to the supposed astronomical and agricultural purposes of the original Nazca Lines. The minimalist yet intricate nature of the Nazca figures has also influenced graphic design and interior decor. Stylized versions of the famous hummingbird, monkey, and spider glyphs frequently appear in modern art prints, textiles, and wall coverings. Their simple, bold lines lend themselves well to contemporary aesthetics, allowing designers to incorporate ancient symbolism into sleek, modern spaces. Moreover, the Nazca Lines have sparked interest in aerial perspective in urban planning. Some innovative city designs now consider how their layouts will appear from above, creating visually striking patterns that are functional on the ground but reveal hidden beauty from the air. This approach echoes the dual nature of the Nazca Lines, which take on new meaning when viewed from different perspectives. The Nazca Lines, etched into the arid coastal plains of southern Peru, have become a significant symbol of national identity and pride for Peruvians. These ancient geoglyphs, created between 500 BCE and 500 CE, represent a remarkable feat of engineering and artistic vision that continues to captivate both locals and visitors from around the world. For many Peruvians, the Nazca Lines serve as a tangible link to their pre-Columbian heritage, showcasing the ingenuity and cultural sophistication of their ancestors. The sheer scale and complexity of these designs, which include various animal figures, plants, and geometric shapes, are often cited as evidence of the advanced knowledge and skills possessed by ancient Peruvian civilizations. In contemporary discussions about national identity, the Nazca Lines are frequently invoked as a unique cultural treasure that sets Peru apart on the global stage. They are not only a major tourist attraction but also a source of scientific interest and ongoing research, further cementing their importance in Peru's cultural landscape. This combination of historical significance, artistic value, and scientific intrigue has made the Nazca Lines a powerful symbol of Peruvian achievement and creativity. Moreover, the mystery surrounding the purpose and creation of the Nazca Lines has sparked numerous theories and debates, keeping them relevant in modern discourse. This ongoing fascination ensures that the lines remain an active part of Peru's cultural conversation, continually reinforcing their role in shaping national identity and pride. The Nazca Lines continue to intrigue archaeologists and researchers, leaving several pressing questions unanswered. One of the most significant mysteries is the purpose behind these enormous geoglyphs. While theories range from astronomical calendars to religious rituals, the true intent of their creators remains elusive. Another puzzling aspect is how the ancient Nazca people achieved such precision in creating these massive designs without the ability to view them from above. The technical skill required to produce such large-scale, accurate figures on the ground is still not fully understood. The question of why the Nazca civilization invested so much time and effort into creating these lines also persists. Some researchers wonder if there were practical benefits, such as water-related functions, or if they served a purely ceremonial purpose. The longevity of the lines, which have survived for over 2,000 years, raises questions about the techniques used to create such enduring markings. Lastly, the full extent of the Nazca Lines remains unknown. As new technologies emerge, researchers continue to discover previously undetected geoglyphs, leading to questions about how many more might still be hidden in the desert landscape. These ongoing discoveries fuel the debate about the true scale and complexity of this ancient wonder. As we continue to explore the mysteries of the Nazca Lines, future technological advancements promise to revolutionize our understanding of these ancient geoglyphs. Advanced satellite imaging and remote sensing technologies will likely provide us with even more detailed and comprehensive views of the lines and their surrounding landscape. These high-resolution images could reveal previously undiscovered patterns or figures, shedding new light on the extent and complexity of the Nazca people's creations. Artificial intelligence and machine learning algorithms could play a crucial role in analyzing vast amounts of data collected from the site. These powerful tools might identify subtle patterns or correlations that human researchers have overlooked, potentially uncovering new insights into the purpose and meaning of the lines. Furthermore, advanced computer modeling techniques could help reconstruct the ancient landscape, allowing us to visualize how the lines might have appeared when they were first created. Ground-penetrating radar and other non-invasive scanning technologies may reveal hidden structures or artifacts beneath the surface, providing valuable context for the lines and their creators. These techniques could uncover buried settlements, workshops, or ceremonial sites that are intimately connected to the geoglyphs, enriching our understanding of Nazca culture and society. Advancements in dating methods, such as improved radiocarbon dating or novel techniques like optically stimulated luminescence, could offer more precise chronologies for the creation and use of the lines. This enhanced timeline would allow researchers to better situate the Nazca Lines within the broader context of ancient Peruvian history and potentially identify connections to other cultures or historical events. The Nazca Lines in Peru continue to intrigue archaeologists and researchers, and several potential discoveries could revolutionize our understanding of these ancient geoglyphs. One significant finding would be the discovery of advanced surveying or astronomical tools near the site, suggesting the Nazca people possessed sophisticated knowledge to create such precise and large-scale designs. This would challenge current theories about their technological capabilities. Another groundbreaking discovery could be the identification of previously unknown plant or animal species depicted in the lines. This would not only expand our knowledge of the local ecosystem during the time of their creation, but also provide insights into the cultural and religious significance of these creatures to the Nazca people. The unearthing of new, undamaged textiles or ceramics with designs matching the geoglyphs could offer crucial information about the purpose and meaning of the lines. Such artifacts might reveal whether the lines served a ceremonial, astronomical, or entirely different function than currently theorized. Lastly, the detection of hidden underground structures or chambers beneath or near the lines using advanced imaging technology could dramatically alter our interpretation. These structures might contain preserved organic materials, tools, or other artifacts that could provide direct evidence of the lines, creators, and their motivations, potentially rewriting the history of this enigmatic site. Climate change poses significant challenges for future research on the Nazca Lines. As global temperatures rise and weather patterns shift, the delicate desert environment of the Nazca region faces increasing threats. More frequent and intense rainfall events could lead to erosion and damage to the ancient geoglyphs, potentially obscuring or destroying valuable archaeological evidence. Changing wind patterns might also affect the preservation of the lines. Stronger winds could carry more sand and debris, gradually wearing away the surface where the lines are etched. This process could make it harder for researchers to study the original designs and gather accurate data about their creation and purpose. Rising temperatures could alter the chemical composition of the soil, potentially affecting how well the lines remain visible from the air. This change might necessitate the development of new imaging technologies to continue studying the geoglyphs effectively. Additionally, climate-induced changes in vegetation patterns could impact the surrounding ecosystem, altering the context in which the lines exist. Researchers may need to adapt their methods and prioritize urgent documentation and preservation efforts in response to these climate-related challenges. This situation might lead to increased use of non-invasive techniques like remote sensing and digital mapping to study the lines while minimizing physical impact on the fragile site. The Nazca Lines in Peru continue to captivate researchers and the public alike, but their study raises important ethical questions. Foremost among these is the preservation of this ancient wonder. As scientists and tourists flock to the site, there's a real risk of damage to these delicate geoglyphs etched into the desert floor. Researchers must balance their desire for knowledge with the need to protect this irreplaceable cultural heritage. Another key consideration is respect for the indigenous Nazca culture. While the exact purpose and meaning of the lines remain a mystery, they hold deep cultural significance for local communities. Researchers must work in partnership with these communities, ensuring their voices are heard and their perspectives valued in any study or interpretation of the lines. The commercialization of the Nazca Lines also presents ethical challenges. The site's popularity as a tourist destination brings economic benefits, but also increases the risk of exploitation and damage. Striking a balance between accessibility for research and tourism and long-term conservation is crucial. Lastly, there's the question of how to handle new discoveries. With advanced technology revealing previously unknown geoglyphs, researchers must consider how to share these findings responsibly without encouraging unauthorized exploration or looting. These ethical considerations underscore the complex interplay between scientific inquiry, cultural respect, and preservation in the ongoing study of the Nazca Lines. Virtual and augmented reality technologies offer exciting new ways to study and experience the Nazca Lines. These immersive tools could allow researchers and the public to explore the ancient geoglyphs in unprecedented detail without physically visiting the fragile site. Scientists could use high-resolution scans to create virtual models of the lines, enabling them to examine the carvings from angles and perspectives impossible in the real world. This could reveal new insights into construction techniques, purpose, and cultural significance. Virtual reality would also permit researchers to simulate different lighting conditions or overlay data from ground-penetrating radar, potentially uncovering hidden patterns or structures. For the general public, augmented reality apps could bring the Nazca Lines to life. Visitors to the actual site could use smartphones or special glasses to see digital reconstructions of the complete figures overlaid on the landscape. This would make the massive geoglyphs easier to comprehend and appreciate. Virtual reality experiences could transport people to a digital recreation of ancient Nazca, allowing them to walk among the lines and see them as they might have appeared when newly created. These technologies could also aid in conservation efforts. By creating detailed digital records of the lines, scientists can track changes over time and identify areas in need of protection. Virtual tourism experiences might help reduce physical foot traffic at the site while still allowing people worldwide to marvel at these extraordinary creations of our ancient ancestors. Citizen science could significantly enhance future research on the Nazca Lines. These ancient geoglyphs in Peru have long fascinated archaeologists and the public alike, and harnessing the power of citizen scientists could unlock new discoveries. Satellite imagery and high-resolution aerial photography are now widely available, allowing people around the world to examine the Nazca Lines in detail from their own homes. Volunteers could help identify previously unknown geoglyphs or patterns by meticulously scanning these images. This crowdsourced approach could cover far more ground than traditional research teams alone. Additionally, citizen scientists could assist in documenting and monitoring the condition of known geoglyphs. Climate change and human activity pose ongoing threats to these fragile earthworks. A network of local volunteers could regularly visit sites, capturing photos and recording observations about erosion, damage, or other changes. This continuous stream of data would be invaluable for conservation efforts. Furthermore, citizen science projects could tap into diverse perspectives and expertise. People from various backgrounds might notice patterns or connections that specialized researchers might overlook. By engaging a global community in the study of the Nazca Lines, we could foster new theories and interpretations about their purpose and creation. Genetic studies of ancient Nazca populations could provide valuable insights into the creation and purpose of the famous Nazca Lines. By analyzing DNA extracted from human remains found in the region, scientists can trace the origins and migrations of the people who lived there thousands of years ago. This information could help us understand the cultural and technological capabilities of the Nazca civilization. These genetic studies might reveal connections between the Nazca people and other ancient cultures in South America, potentially shedding light on the spread of ideas and techniques used to create the massive geoglyphs. If researchers discover genetic links to cultures known for their astronomical knowledge, it could support theories that the lines had celestial significance. Furthermore, genetic analysis could provide clues about the health and lifestyle of the Nazca people. This information might help explain how they were able to undertake such large-scale projects and survive in the harsh desert environment. It could also reveal whether there were significant population changes or influxes of new groups that might have influenced the creation of the lines over time. By combining genetic data with archaeological evidence and other scientific approaches, researchers can build a more comprehensive picture of the Nazca culture. This multidisciplinary approach could lead to new theories about the purpose and meaning of the lines, enhancing our understanding of this ancient wonder. Artificial intelligence offers exciting possibilities for unraveling the mysteries of the Nazca Lines in Peru. These ancient geoglyphs, etched into the desert floor, have puzzled researchers for decades. Advanced image recognition algorithms could detect subtle patterns and shapes that human eyes might miss, potentially revealing new figures or connections between known designs. Machine learning techniques could analyze vast amounts of data from satellite imagery, ground surveys, and historical records far more quickly than traditional methods. This might uncover relationships between the lines and other archaeological sites, or even astronomical alignments that have eluded previous studies. Artificial intelligence could also help reconstruct how the Nazca people might have created these enormous designs without the benefit of aerial views. By simulating different construction techniques and comparing them to the actual lines, researchers could gain insights into the methods and tools used by this ancient civilization. Furthermore, predictive modeling powered by artificial intelligence could guide archaeologists to promising new excavation sites, potentially uncovering artifacts that shed light on the purpose and meaning of the Nazca Lines. This technology might finally help us understand why these remarkable geoglyphs were created and what they meant to their creators. Future space-based observations could revolutionize our understanding of the Nazca Lines in Peru. Advanced satellite imaging technology will allow researchers to capture incredibly detailed views of these ancient geoglyphs from orbit. These high-resolution images could reveal previously undetected patterns or figures, shedding new light on the purpose and creation of the lines. Hyperspectral imaging from space could provide valuable data about the composition of the soil and rocks used to create the lines. This information might offer insights into the techniques used by the ancient Nazca people and could potentially help date the creation of different figures more accurately. Thermal imaging satellites could detect subtle temperature differences in the desert floor, possibly revealing buried structures or additional lines that are not visible to the naked eye. This technology might uncover new connections between the known figures or identify entirely new areas of interest for ground-based archaeologists to explore. Space-based LiDAR technology could create precise three-dimensional maps of the Nazca Lines and the surrounding landscape. These detailed topographical models might help researchers better understand how the ancient Nazca people used the natural terrain in their designs and could potentially reveal new theories about the line's purpose or significance.